I missed time to drink. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to this special January release of Scream 7. Don't check your calendar. It is the first week of January because this is movies like this that come out around this time. I am Charles. He's Cody Leach. Cody, how are you, sir?
Doing all right. Good to be back. I don't think we've done a live in months.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the last time we did a spoiler was 28 years later, right? I feel like it's been a bit for this. But I guess for as much as I don't follow social media, the things that have been happening in the last weekend or so, a lot of it has nothing to do with films itself, but more social media, real life stuff. And that kind of sucks. And that's kind of surrounding this movie. But Scream 7 came out as of right now. It is the highest grossing opening weekend in the franchise. So people came out in droves. So you'll be getting at least one more of these. For the most part, this stream will be spoilers, but we'll do a little bit up front talking about the lead up and how we were feeling going into it. But just be prepared for spoilers all the way through. Cody, the last time there was a Scream movie, you and I were in each other's lap watching, saying there's no way this can get any worse. But oh man,
this was us for the first like hour and 10 minutes, and then this was us for the last 20 minutes. Here's me, and here's Charles.
Guilty. Yeah. And the thought,
are you fucking kidding me? Wait a minute.
Wake up. Yeah. So the thought process on the way home from that was, they can't do worse than this, but man, Scream 6 is like Citizen Kane to this. But
and even that being said, like maybe the tone of that wasn't in my brain the night that we watched it because the last 20 minutes had me so frustrated. But like over time, like I would still give like a unenthusiastic thumbs up to Scream 6. I think the highs are high. Like the 3 out of 5, I think is the ceiling or the floor for what I've given Scream movies until this weekend.
Yeah, it's funny. Before the recent bunch, we were talking about Scream as a franchise that, man, prior to COVID, there was 25 years and 4 Scream movies. And it's like, man, if there's a franchise that's really, really solid, it's Scream. And since COVID, they've done 3 movies. And I don't know if the solid would be the word I'd use, but
it's been funny because for a long time, I would say like, of all the horror franchises for years, it's like, okay, there's 3 that you can pretty much rely on for consistency. There's Chucky. Oops. We'll take that off the list after the last couple of years. Then I would say Scream and I would say Evil Dead are the ones where it's like across the board, the consistency is pretty quality.
Yeah.
And then, I think with this weekend now, it's like, well, don't fuck up Evil Dead Burn, please.
All right. So Scream 7, Cody, what were your expectations of this movie going in?
I was cautiously optimistic, but I had a lot of reservations. Now, from the beginning, like it's hard when you follow movies to the degree that we do to not let some of the behind the scenes shenanigans start to color your expectations, because more times than not, that does indicate there's, where there's smoke, there's fire. And so, after leaving Scream 6, I was definitely like, my expectations would have been lowered no matter what, even if they just kept the train going with Melissa Barrera and everybody. But as soon as you had her get fired, and then Christopher Landon came in, that was around the same time. I think Christopher Landon was going to come in, and then she got fired. I don't remember this specific thing, but like Christopher Landon coming in, I was like, okay, I hope he doesn't go too comedic, but I like his movies. Solid. He's a good writer. Like this could be fun. I liked what Radio Silence did, but New Blood's always good. And then they both left the project. And then of course, Jenna Ortega shortly after that for scheduling conflicts. And so once that happened, it was like, oh, this might be done for a while. And then not shortly after that, they're like, guess what? Neve Campbell, we decided she's worth the money this time. And that's what makes it so difficult is like, I love Neve Campbell, especially in this role. Sure. Like Sydney, top 3 final girl for me.
Okay.
And with that being said, I've always felt like the direction of the last 2 movies of kind of stepping away from the legacy characters was the right way to go. You can only do so much with the same core 3 characters that are never allowed to die.
Right.
And so them saying, "Well, never mind, let's go back to Sydney and Gale," immediately I'm like, "What's left to be said? What's left to do with these characters?" Like, love them, but, like, narratively, it just took the wind out of the sails. So,
Mhm.
long-winded answer. My expectations, the only thing that I knew about this film aside from Nev Campbell's coming back was that they were going hard on all the nostalgia bait, where it's like, "We're gonna get Nev back. Guess what? We're gonna make Kevin Williamson the director. He's not the lead writer, but he's the director. Don't ask questions." And then Matthew Lillard's gonna be in here somewhere, and then Dewey's gonna be in there somewhere, and the killer from 3 is gonna be in there somewhere, and immediately I'm like, this feels desperate. This feels like you have no idea what to do, and you know people are pissed, and you're just trying to do this one like Hail Mary to try to get people into seats, and it seems to be working
Sure.
financially,
Sure.
but it gave me no reason to be excited for the film, for their story. But since Scream has always been very consistent and reliable, I was like, even if it's not great, it's still probably gonna be good, you know, like Sex, Pizza, and Scream movies, even when they're bad, it's still pretty good.
Right.
So, that was my expectation.
Yeah, the thing of it is, I don't think anybody, as weird as this is to say, but I don't think the actors in the movie matter if the movie itself is a solid time. Like, if you had different directors, different actors in and out of the movie, if it was an enjoyable ride, like it doesn't matter who's in it. Like,
Mhm.
everyone in the first Scream, weren't really known. The fact that you had such high turnover into Scream 2 didn't matter. I guess 3 was the redheaded stepchild for a little bit, and that was fine. 4, did this thing where again, just a reset of characters, and I really kind of like 4. So I think it doesn't matter what's going on with the cast and crew if there's a good enough script and a good enough story and things behind all the fuss, it would make things irrelevant. Like there's tons of movies where you hear about all this shit going on behind the scenes, but I mean, Back to the Future, they swapped out their main actor, and Back to the Future is like an all time classic. So, it only comes up if the movie ends up kind of tanking. Scream 7, as of right now, is not tanking. Um, but it feels to me like something that I don't. It feels like what Star Wars feels like in the 2020s for me, like or Marvel era 2020s. Just here's things you remember. Um, I don't know what I was expecting because I kind of lost touch with, because Nev Campbell, Sydney's character, was in 5, but it was more like a torch passing.
Mhm.
Um, and they tried to like do this Force Awakens thing where the New York crew from Scream 6, like they have, time in this film too, where it's just like, can you just make a choice and go in one direction rather than like trying to make everybody happy with cast and crew, and it won't
Did it
make
not
sense.
feel to you did it not feel to you like the script was written with, like, empty spaces, placeholders for what characters decided to come back?
I
Like,
don't
it felt like they wrote the script not really knowing what actors were actually gonna support the movie, and so as soon as you got a couple of them in there, like, that second act feels like you could have taken the twins out, put Kirby in there, you could have taken Kirby out and put one of the twins in. Gale didn't even really serve a purpose, but of course she's gonna be there. Like, that's how it felt to me with everybody but Nev was just like, "We know we got Nev. Let's write some shit that, if some other people wanna come play, we can give them something to do," but, like, the entire 3rd act, everybody but Nev Campbell just fucks out of the movie. They're like, "Bye. See
yeah
you at the see you at the credits."
yeah I I I would even say before the second act, because you have the same thing with Sydney's daughter Tatum, and she's doing the high school friends thing. It's essentially like a rhyme of the first Scream, right down to the boyfriend coming into the bedroom window. But then they do like a speed run of the high school thing, and you never really get to know any of her friends. Like they take a ride in a jeep. Um, they're in a theater class together, and then there's things just start popping off, and
Yeah, you
What
don't
was
really
the
get to know
rush?
any of the new you don't get to know any of the new characters.
Right, like
I
McKenna
couldn't even tell
Grace.
you their names.
Yeah, I know McKenna Grace because she's in the Ghostbusters movies.
Mhm.
She was the one dangling from the
I mean,
which
she's arguably the biggest name outside of Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox in this
right now,
movie.
sure, yeah, yeah, and all right, so hold on, let's go back for a second because on the thumbnail I called this movie "Contrivance" with a 7 for a V because if I have complaints about this movie, it is everything just shoehorned for the sake of it needing to. Um, Cold open prologue of this movie is apparently the Woodsboro house, the original Scream house, is now like an Airbnb where it's something of a museum where you can rent it for the night and be a fangirl at the house, which I think that's an interesting commentary on true crime shit. Like there
Mhm.
is something to be said there, and it's interesting. It's a nice thing to highlight, but I just feel like the execution's a little weird. Um, Turns out that
I think the sequence itself is really strong. It's only in hindsight after you watch the rest of the movie that the execution felt really weird to me. Hopefully, I didn't cut you off,
no,
but,
no,
like,
no.
just kinda talking as you're going.
I appreciate it. I think I think if there was connection between the prologue and the rest of the movie, it would
Yes.
feel a little bit better because, Scream 1, Drew Barrymore is one of the friends of like all of
Mhm.
these movies, there's some sort of connection to our main characters. Scream 7, that prologue is that just happens. Like they're not connected at all. They're just two schmucks, two diehard fans who are renting the house. And oh, by the way, the person who's running around as Ghostface decides to burn the house down to get Sydney's attention, although she's not in the same state anymore. So she's across the country, and it's like, wait, what?
I mean,
Why are
was
you
it
doing
even to
this?
get her attention? Like, I've seen people try to defend this and try to explain it, and it's one that I'm just like, "Okay, if you can't if you dig it and you can make connections just for the sake of liking it, fine, but, like, let's be real." So, like, I've said I really enjoy the opening. I think it's one of the stronger openings of the franchise for all the reasons you said. I like that it is kind of a commentary. I mean, they're literally laying in the spots where the killers
Right,
died, like, "Hey, take
right.
a selfie," like, and we're kinda that way. I mean, I'm not, but, we've seen people where they're walking around with Dahmer t-shirts and shit like
Yep,
that, and it's kinda
yep,
weird.
yep.
But, I think the tension and the comedy in that sequence is pretty funny, being in a couple where I'm, very much a horror guy, my wife's not so much, like, I get some of the comedy of, "You actually think this is gonna be a fun weekend for me?" Like, that was kinda cute to me, and even the animatronic ghost face, I figured at some point what was gonna happen, but it was still cool.
Mhm.
And I also liked what you saw in this sequence and a couple other times in the film. They kinda had like a Michael Myers trick with Ghostface where he's, like, in the shadows, and then they have, like, a 1-watt bulb, like, slowly light his face, and then he just descends back into the
Mhm.
darkness, which was cool. So, yeah, I thought the sequence itself was strong. Kinda stupid to have Ghostface, like, in a room that's already engulfed in flames continuing to pour gas on shit. It's like, "Did you take science class?" But
Well,
beyond that, which is a nitpick, beyond that, like, logic bullshit, yeah, like, the movie starts, we're gonna burn it all down. Okay, cool. We'll have to come back to it after we get to, like, the ghost face reveals, but to foreshadow, like, yeah, once you figure out the plan and what exactly is going on and what Ghostface is trying to do, it's like, so what was the point of that opening exactly, and how does that play into everything? It's just so you can have images of Ghostface with the house burning behind him
I
for the
mean, it
poster
looks
and the
cool.
trailer.
Don't get me wrong, it
It
looks
does.
awesome, but
It does, but like you it
connect the
serves no
2,
narrative
please.
purpose. It's
Right.
just it's just a cool scene that's isolated so that we can put it in the marketing.
Yeah.
That's its only purpose.
Yeah, most of the trailer is, like, stuff from
Mhm.
that prologue.
Yeah.
It's funky. Um, so then they cut across, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go back, but it's something that it's like the first bit of contrivance where it doesn't feel like it, like you said, it doesn't feel like it when you're watching it. You're like, oh, interesting, nice, let's see where we're going. But the second something happens, not even like at the end of the movie, like at the second act mark, you're like, wait a minute, wait, what? How does this? What? Why does this matter to the thing in the beginning?
I mean,
Um,
let's just put it this way, which isn't even spoilers. So the movie takes place in a city in Indiana, and we all know that Woodsboro's in California. So that means that the Ghostface killers got on an overnight plane to go to LA or to go to California to Woodsboro to kill 2 random people. to set the house on fire and then immediately haul ass back to Indiana to set the events of the film in motion.
Yeah.
And there's an AI element that's introduced within the first act of, we get the classic Ghostface call, only instead of Roger L. Jackson, like, hello, Sydney, we're back, bitch. Instead of that, it's a FaceTime call from Stu Macher. Scarred up, hey, Sydney, I always had a thing for you. And from the get, all the characters are like, Stu's dead. Like, but is he? I don't know. Like, is this AI? Is this deep fake? Like, that's the whole thing that drives the movie is like, is it actually Stu? Is Stu alive? Or are they fucking with us and it's somebody else? And so the closest thing to an explanation that you can give, which I've seen people try to give, is that they went to Indiana, they went to California to burn the house down to try to spark some sort of doubt that maybe it is Stu. But my argument is that's for the audience, not for the characters.
Right.
Like, even when Sydney doesn't buy it at all. And I don't remember if there's a scene where she sees that the Stu Macher house was burned, but she doesn't react to it like, holy fuck, maybe it's Stu. She's just like, this shit again. Okay. So it doesn't do anything for her. It's just there for the audience to be like, is it Stu?
But the
writing.
The other thing is, so the killer, this is the movie protecting. They're trying to keep their cards to their chest. But considering Sydney's husband is a police officer, he could find out who is the owner of the Woodsboro house and who did he rent that house to, and why did the killer have access to it and was able to walk around and set things up. Like, there's things where, I don't know, a normal police officer would have been like, well, let's check up on these people. That would have been interesting.
If we're going to start going down the contrivances when it comes to the police force of this Indiana town, we're going to be here for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one thing just to find some stupid reason to not have the police be in the plot, which there is just like, it's a curfew. I'm like, curfew means the cops are still patrolling, by the way. But when you have Sydney, who's married, was he the chief of police or was he just an officer? I heard somebody say chief, and I was like, I don't remember them saying that, but maybe, who knows? Anyway, he's either an officer or he's the chief of police. That serves no advantage whatsoever. Like, there's a point where when Ghostface comes to Sydney's house, they're like, all right, guys, go in and clear the house. And they literally go, all right, it's good. it's that fucking quick. Like, they come right back outside, like, all right, you guys are good, go inside. And then it just shows like this big fucking attic thing. And it's like, yeah, nobody thought to check that, did they? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
we're going to sway back and forth, people who are watching, by the way, between like legit hard issues and making fun of nitpicks. We're having fun.
Yeah, in chat, if you feel like there's something in between, just help us along the way. But this is just mind slop. It's more my fault than his. But
she gets the call from Stu at the little coffee house, and there's a couple of people around town that, like, it's Sidney Prescott, and the one kid wants to like podcast episode with her, and then pretty quickly after that, you get into, aside from the scene where her boyfriend comes in to mimic the scene from the original, where Billy comes in, very quickly, it's just, you get the phone call from Stu. Oh, by the way, I'm at the theater where your daughter's at, and that's kind of what kicks the movie off.
Yeah, my issue with that right away is Stu's on a FaceTime with Sydney, but whenever Ghostface is doing things, he's in full garb. Why not do a FaceTime as Ghostface, kill someone, like do one of the kills in the Ghostface paraphernalia, take off the mask to reveal that you're Stu, and have that be some sort of connective tissue, because you never really, you always see Stu without a mask on, but whenever there's killing or things happening outside, it's Ghostface. And there's not that connection where it's like, oh, this is definitely related to that. It's a thing that I felt like it could have been just one simple thing. And I don't know, Kevin Williamson, could you help them with the script at all? All you had to do is direct, because I'm shocked.
He's got a co-writing credit, so he must have come in and done some rewrites.
Where?
But I don't know where. Yeah, you made me think of something. This doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but it's a cool idea, I think, for like a modern thing. So you're talking about like having like Ghostface's FaceTiming Sidney Prescott outside of something, like kind of going into that whole thing about like people's obsession strangely over serial killers and mimicking the thing from the beginning. I think it would have been a cool sequence if this had taken place in Woodsboro, to have a bunch of people that go that the like influencers are doing shit like that. Like they're wearing the ghost face costume and doing this, and you got a whole bunch of lives, like it's some kind of an anniversary, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them's actually Ghostface, and have a sequence where it's like, which one's the real one? And they're all out there fucking on IG Live and TikTok and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's weird. Like a lot of the modern stuff they do with these, not even just Scream, but a lot of slasher movies. Like they'll talk about, oh, a student was murdered at school, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if you're paying attention to America, but one student getting stabbed isn't that big a deal anymore. Like
Yeah.
to take things that are happening in the world and like kind of be aware of it and reflect it would be interesting. But yeah, in school, it would be interesting if you had more like the whodunit aspect of all, this is a thing throughout Scream. It's always whodunit. But in this movie, it's just doing whodunits for the sake of whatever the fuck. And turns out that the guy in the coffee shop, which, Sydney now owns a coffee store, and this guy gets his fucking gnarly close up, and turns out
Yeah,
that,
tonally, it's really weird. Like everybody's just kind of chilling, and then you get a close up of a guy who's like,
yeah.
and you're like, I think that might be significant.
Dude, he had a red eye flight out of Woodsboro, so he's a little cranky. Leave him be. Yeah, so there's so many different things. Like there's in that one scene, there's him buying coffee and just being upset. Then you have the neighbor woman, her son, who's like super into true crime shit, and he's the weirdo. Like they're trying so hard to make you suspect that these people are killers, but they don't give you anything to go on as far as like what's their motivation. Like, yeah, okay, you're just a big fan. Oh, this guy likes coffee. Like, yeah, you're giving them a close up. You're making things seem really like intriguing, but why? What does it matter to Sydney? Why are these people important? And it just does whodunit for this. Like they speed run through shit, and I couldn't tell you anything about this modern batch, Tatum's friends. I couldn't tell you anything about them that was like the only thing I could think of the boyfriend is, yeah, it's basically a rewrite on the first Scream, that right down to the crawling in through the window and wanting to have sex, and with the change that Sydney's onto their shit and is overprotective.
And I liked that scene. Like I was digging this for the first probably 30 minutes. I thought that was a cool little thing where her daughter's kind of mimicking her, and like, I want to be a teenager, but of course, like it was like a more grounded version of what they tried to do with Halloween 2018 to me, where it's like she's got her trauma, she's got her bullshit baggage, it's hurting her relationship with her daughter, but it doesn't feel so overcooked. And so like her opening the door and being like, all right, come out from behind the bed, bitch. Like I thought that was kind of nice. And then you get the nice little scene with her and her husband where they're kind of a little bit more playful, like everything up to probably the first mask reveal. I was like, okay, I'm digging this.
Okay.
I was at least cool with it. It wasn't like top tier Scream, but I was like, okay, like, it's not bad.
Yeah, there's stuff like it felt like they were trying to do something with Tatum being overprotected, and Sydney wanted to make sure that she didn't have to like hear of things, and there's something behind that behind someone not being prepared for things, and Sydney's character being like hardened and just like over prepared.
I'll tell you, the weird moment with all of that was her getting pissy about the fucking leather jacket. For me, I struggled to even remember like what movie that coat was from. I was like,
thank you.
She's like, where did you get that? And I was like, is that Tatum's jacket or something? Like, I'm missing what the significance is here. And then it took forever to finally get her to be like, to let you know it was from college or whatever. But I'm like, I don't think that's how trauma works.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm not an expert, but like, I was wearing this jacket when shit popped off in 1997, so now I just keep it in the attic and I don't want to see it anymore. Like it was a little much. That moment was a little much.
Plus, she's been through trauma 4 times. Do you have clothes where you weren't wearing during your fucking trauma? What can I wear? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
It was such a weird thing. Like what? Like that felt like overarching fucking like fan service shit. Like, oh, look, the
Yes, yeah,
jacket.
it's the
Like,
jacket. Yeah,
oh,
like anybody really gets pumped about the jacket, like, no.
yeah. I just got confused. And it's still in the first act. It's around that moment where there's killer, the killer that we think of at that moment, gets run over, and it's still first act. They're at Sydney's house, and there's a bit of a chase scene.
Well,
But
we're skipping ahead a little bit. So we
thank you.
got the whole thing at the school. So you have
Oh,
they're
all
at
right,
they're at
yeah,
the school.
right. I have
They're
that
at the
order.
school, and you have them doing their little theater thing or whatever, and
Homage to part two.
Tatum
Yep.
yeah, exactly, and so then McKenna Grace is like, I don't know, she's doing some kind of Peter Pan thing where she's, like, hoisted up, and so they stage this whole kill scene where the guy who's operating it gets fucking iced, and then she's up in the air, and Ghostface is toying with her, and this was the moment I started to get a little bit worried because, like, I'm probably the loudest person online as far as bitching about the creativity of the screen kills, wanting them to kind of give us a little bit more pizzazz
I
in
think
that.
it looked good as far as cinematography. That like with the light,
Yeah, yeah, the shadow
the
for
cinematography
sure.
looked really, really cool. But yeah, the no, don't, no,
Well, well,
don't.
not only that, it's just we had the kill earlier where the girl falls from like 15 feet up, and he just does this, and of course she would die, but like that would fuck him up beyond belief too. Like
Yeah,
having somebody fall on you,
snap
like
your
would it not
wrists.
impale you and like yeah, exactly. Fine, we'll forgive that. Again, bordering nitpicks, but whatever. We can deal with it. Then you get to this one, and she's swinging back and forth, and he just holds a knife up, and she like just by brushing against it, just disembowels her from fucking like not stem to sternum,
Hmm.
hole to sternum, and so uh, and it's like, is it a nitpick to say that knives don't work that way? I don't know, man, but like just having him just do this, and like as soon as just her touching it is
Well,
gonna fuck
dude.
like
Plus, you're swinging like this. Kick your fucking legs at him. Like what?
yeah,
Like
I
that.
don't
Just
I don't mind
no, no,
stupid character stuff
no.
sometimes, but like that was one to me where I'm like, okay, that was gory, but you're bordering on being silly and over the top a lot so far.
That's another problem. We don't know if she's smart or stupid. We just know her
Yeah.
as the person who rode in the Jeep
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
them. It I don't like.
Into knives are fucking sharp, man. And this, I mean, maybe again, that's why I said I'm not confident enough to really harp on that. That was just one for me where it was just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it bordered on silly a little bit for me,
If
where it's just having somebody stab and do this, like like when they killed Dewey in 5, like you could tell somebody they're ripping up,
yeah,
and this was just like, I don't know,
I think
minor annoyance.
I think if there weren't so many nitpicks, it would be just one of these things like, oh, I really kind of wish they did something about that. But they stack up. The nitpicks, the contrivances are heavy in this movie. And like, yeah, in a different situation, it'd be like, yeah, that kill in the theater was kind of fucked up. But if
Mhm,
otherwise, it was fine. When they add up, it's like, dude, did you care about anything in this process? Because yeah, there's a lot to nitpick.
mhm.
Um,
Jacob says she would need to move with more velocity to sell that. I guess that's it. Yeah.
I would agree
Like
with that.
there's a version of that, but just the way they did it, I'm like, fine, we'll move on. That was kind of my attitude towards it. But yeah, so she gets killed. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, Ghostface really is here. Now we've got a body.
Hmm.
And nobody seems to really react to their friend's death. Like they're just kind of hanging out. They're like, can we go home?
Dude,
Like,
dude, just the one thing I wrote down. Sydney's like, "Oh, thank God you're okay," and at their feet is a fucking corpse. It's like you're hugging, saying, "Oh
mhm,
my God, thank God you're okay." I'm sorry. Can you move your feet? You're stepping in my friend's blood. Like it's just
mhm,
so broken. Like what? Wait, what's going on here? Two people just got killed. And you're like, "Oh my God, thank God." Fuck them. But as long as you're okay, that's all that matters. It's so
mhm.
weird. It's so
Yeah.
weird and like just disjointed. Like, does anybody care about anything? It's like it's there are moments where you make Sydney like the fucking Terminator in this movie, but with that, she doesn't really have feelings for anybody. Like
Yeah.
everybody else is expendable, and it makes the reveal at the end that much stupider because I don't think it mattered who Sydney was, who Sydney was protecting.
Yeah. I'll tell you what was a missed opportunity too for me. You know, if we're gonna do anything to like border on character arc work for Sydney at this point, like what stone hasn't been unturned aside from just giving her someone new to protect. She was so distrustful of the boyfriend because it mimics, you know, the Billy Loomis or whatever. I feel like it should have been a scenario where her distrusting him and not bringing him along, like, no, after that kill, he's like, "Can we take him?" "No, we're not taking him. He could find his own fucking ride home." That should have cost him his life at some point and, like, made her feel regretful or, like, have some kind of, like, alert, like, "Oh, maybe I should trust people more," like, something there. But, yeah, so you had the kill there, and the boyfriend wants to come. Tatum gets pissed off because she says no. You know, like, there's Ghostface is here, probably him. No, he's not coming with us. And then you get the scene at the house where they clear the house in 30 seconds, and Ghostface descends from the attic.
Yeah, and something happens where there's a chase that happens in the house. This is
They're
when
trying to find the go bag.
in the
So
panic
she
room.
already unpacked her go
Yeah,
bag.
it's like, "Mom, fuck
And
that
so
shit. I got rid of that like weeks ago or months ago, whatever."
yeah, and so she's going back and forth, and then, you know, Ghostface comes down whenever in between all of that, and then the power goes out, and you have a whole fight and struggle where husband is kind of being protector,
Police
getting his
officer.
ass ass handed to him. Again, nitpicky, but it's like there after if you the problem with things like this, and I hate whenever I feel like a lot of things I'm bringing up are like minor. If there's so many of them, I think they no longer become minor.
They can't be in every
But
scene. They just can't. You
exactly.
can't stack them.
That's the problem. That's the problem with this one specifically. So you have Ghostface that comes out with the knife on, you know, Tatum's neck. You got a trained police officer. Don't shoot them in the head. Don't kneecap them. Don't do it. Just set the gun down and walk away. Like, didn't even really buy that a whole lot.
There's
But
the other
anyway,
thing that, if Tatum is sheltered and can't know things, how does she know to duck and tumble away from someone who's got her hostage? Like, it doesn't
he
connect with.
said something. I
Yeah, but
assumed that
he like
they
winked at her
trained
or
or
said go
something.
or something like that. But like
Yeah.
when the moments when she's like too like overburdened and like she can't handle it, that doesn't connect with someone who has the wherewithal to say, "Oh yeah, right. Let me tumble out of the way from this person who's got me hostage." It just doesn't connect with what you've shown us and what you're telling us with this character.
So
Um,
we got in the chat, Adrian Phillips says, that's why the jacket thing means something. It represents the boyfriend she didn't trust from Scream 2 that was the catalyst for her going into hiding. You're doing work for the movie. That could have worked. If you would have gone the direction that I was saying with her distrusting the boyfriend and somehow the jacket was visually shown, like you're connecting dots the movie did not connect.
and what from Scream 1 when her boyfriend did something
Yeah.
that
So Scream 2, she didn't really trust Jerry O'Connell. He ends up getting killed or whatever. But like, you're doing work for the movie to say that the jacket represents that. They never show that.
if that were you need to show that. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like you can't expect people like
And that could have worked. That could have made that scene make sense. Like, okay, cool. But no, they didn't do anything like
right.
that.
The problem with this movie is it has like fan film logic where if you're connecting things, they know you've watched the entire franchise. But if you were to come into this first and this is your first experience with Scream, you're just absolutely lost with things because that jacket is something of a it's a jangling keys for fans, but it's like, do we even know that? What's the connection to her boyfriend in two? It's not like he gave her that coat. Is it? It's just what she was wearing.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I haven't rewatched
Yeah,
2 in a while. Maybe I think he gave her his letters. I don't think he gave her the jacket.
there are things that happen in movies to remind you, and it feels redundant to people if you've watched something over and over again. But they'll give you a flashback, and there are times where you're like, "Well, that was weird. I already know that happened." But sometimes when they make a movie, they think, "All right, just in case someone hasn't seen this, we need them to understand what this next thing is going to be." I mean, they do it like every week in television series where previously on, and it's part of the episode. They give you
Yeah.
flashbacks from the previous week just in case you don't want to do homework. Here's the homework in the beginning.
Hmm.
If you're a fan, that's fine, but it's bad work. And considering it was Kevin Williamson, I, there's a lot of missteps here, and I feel like
I really don't understand what their rush was. Like, if you're going to get Kevin Williamson back, why the fuck didn't you just do a page 1 rewrite and give him another year? and let him write and direct the fucking thing. Like, that's the thing that's crazy to me. Like, what kind of a rush were you in, especially given how toxic everything was? Like, it only benefited you to let shit cool down a little bit. So I don't understand. Like, that was my biggest concern, was they announced Kevin Williamson's going to direct, and it's like, well, I mean, he didn't do his one movie that he directed wasn't great, but it's been decades since. So shit, like I'll give him a run. This feels like the appropriate successor to Wes Craven. And then you find out he's not the writer, and it's like, hold on. What? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's like you're making the cook do the dishes and you're letting the dishwasher cook. And so
yeah, right.
And so, yeah, from the beginning, that was my concern. Then eventually he got a co-writing credit. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you need to do. Like, maybe you write one scene and you can get a co-writing credit. I don't know what the requirements are, but I just don't get why. I mean, all three of the movies that he wrote in this franchise are great. 1, 2, and 4, in my opinion.
I agree.
And there's some great ones. Like, I really enjoy 5, and he didn't write that one. So I'm not saying he's the only one who can do it, but why you get the writer to direct, but don't let him do what he's actually famous and known for, baffles me. And that is the biggest problem with this movie from start to finish. And I don't think he certainly has shortcomings as a director. I think there's certain things he did good. I think there was a couple of really suspenseful sequences. Like, we're in the middle of the house right now. That whole thing where they're in the wall was pretty cool. I thought that, some of the cinematography, like you said, it's like some of the shot choices and staging, like the whole thing with the silhouette. And he does do good things here that I think shows potential, but tonally the thing's very off from the rest of the franchise. It feels like there's just so many inconsistencies with certain things that he's not quite there yet. So sorry, just need to get that out.
No, please feel free to, because again, just reminding everyone watching, this is a jumbled mess. We're just kind of, as we think of it, because spoiler, neither one of us are tremendous fans of this movie, but we're just kind of riffing here. So yet another contrivance. So the chase out of the house ends up going outside, and here comes this SUV to run over Ghostface, and enough to like roll over him, and
a couple times he gets ragdolled,
go back and forth.
It was you in Call of Duty.
It was me on the train tracks. Yeah, and then it turns out that it's Gale Weathers and the twins from New York. All right, so why are they there? Is my first question. Because if the murders at the school happened that day,
yeah, they got there fucking quick from California.
It
was literally like, it was after school, so this murder probably happened at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and now it's like, what, 9, 10, like, and they have a van, so they drove.
Yeah. And they have...
From California to Indiana. Unless they gave us some reason why they weren't in California.
They're New York now. They're New York.
New York, correct. Okay, so what's New York to Indiana?
Still halfway. It's fucking halfway, no matter what. It doesn't make sense, because, like, unless they were going to the Woodsboro news, which that is California, but it's
a 10.5-hour drive.
Yeah, it doesn't
flight
make sense.
Or drive, it doesn't really matter.
It's fucking Rise of Skywalker bullshit. Hey, here's Lando, because fucking, remember Lando? How awesome is this? And it just doesn't... I think they had a line too where Gale was like, man, we showed up last minute and now we got to film something or something like that. And it's at that moment that I got very, very concerned. Because
me as well, because I mean, like, the idea of unmasking a ghost face halfway through the movie intrigues me. Yeah, it's barely halfway, whatever it was in the movie. Because like Scream 6, I was dick teased by the beginning of that one, where I'm like, are we gonna know who Ghostface is from the beginning? That's interesting.
Be a nice change of pace, right? Yeah,
something to change up the formula, because that's the biggest problem. Is like, what do you do that hasn't been done with this franchise? So the idea on paper of, we fucked up one of the ghost faces and we're going to unmask him in the middle of Act 2 or beginning of Act 2, whatever you want to call it. That's interesting to me. But when you pull the ghost face mask off and it's just random fuck guy from coffee shop, and it's like,
Oh,
Okay.
the Carl was his name. Carl, I think his name was Carl. The coffee shop guy was Carl, and they do more homework on Carl, the guy that no one really gives a shit about, just guy who was at the mental facility. They do more work on him than anything they do as far as anything in Woodsboro, which is kind of weird to me. Again, your husband's a police officer. It doesn't make sense. Going to, am I having this right? They go to the mental facility, and that's where Dutch is.
Yeah. How many words came out of his mouth before you knew he was Ghostface?
Not many. But the problem, so to defend the movie, it seems like any time the movie wanted you to think, this person might be bad, they delivered a line that was just like, I could kill you. And it's like, yeah.
I feel like for the last 3 movies, these movies have been very sloppy with their red herrings, because everybody that acts weird in the first act of the film, I'm like, no, that's too on the nose. But as soon as you get to Ethan Embry, and he's just like, oh, how can I help you guys? Like, hey, we're looking for Carl. Oh man, like it's totally against the rules to do this, but come on, I'll show you guys this room. Like as soon as he starts doing that, I'm like, motherfucker, like, okay. It's like within second, and especially the fact that you never see him again for the rest of the movie. I'm like, they wouldn't cast Ethan Embry for that role if he wasn't going to show back. And like, not that he's like an A-lister, but like you could get anybody to fucking play an orderly if they're going to be there for that. And so the fact that it was Ethan Embry, and there's the way that I'm like, immediately I'm like, oh, he's at least one of the ghost faces. I don't know if he's the ghost face, but like.
Plus they show him pictures of Stu, and he's like, yeah, I know that guy. That's
John. Yeah, the whole sequence, I'm like, you're showing all your cards here. This is dumb.
Again, a police officer is very close to the situation. Look into that. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, that's the moment where it's like, oh, all right, we'll look into this. No one move.
He was too busy going back into the unsecured house for reasons. Which, speaking of Halloween 2018, why after the end of the first act does Sydney not give a flying fuck how her husband is doing? She never once calls to see how he's doing. She never once says like, oh my God, like Tatum's in trouble. Can you fucking haul ass here in your gun and your goddamn patrol car? Like, he gets stabbed, gets pincushioned in the middle of his fucking house by being a dumbass. And then again, like everybody else is just like gone from the movie until the climax, and nobody ever says, how's dad? What's dad up to? Is dad okay? That annoys the shit out of me when they do that.
He might be the killer.
I understand that this is like a female driven movie. Like Sydney's a badass and you want her daughter to be the heir apparent, but like, can we act like the dad, the husband, at least has a little love in the family for once? Like nobody ever gives a shit when dad leaves. It was the same thing in Stranger Things. The mom gets fucked up. The dad gets fucked up. You never hear the dad get referenced again. They're like, how's mom?
Yeah. See, I get dizzy after the curfew and everyone meets up at the bar. From there on, like, I just can't keep track of things because everything happens both quickly and like it doesn't really matter. See, I'm trying to think. So they go to the mental facility, and Dutch is there, and he lets them.
Troy says, "This is kind of like Trap. Nice to meet you. Would you like to explore the restricted area?" Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That made me laugh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Fuck, I forgot what I was doing. So after the mental facility, what is it?
They're going to do the thing at the news.
Oh, right. The interview with Gale Weathers.
So curfew. Meanwhile, we're going to leave all the teenage characters by themselves with Chad and Mindy in a bar. And maybe they snuck off to the bar or something like that. I don't know. There's details. Like I did not want to watch this movie a second time, so I'm not exactly as sharp on this as I normally am. But
right. And
you have a situation where Tatum and friends are with Chad and Mindy at this bar. Meanwhile, Gale and Sydney are at the news trying to draw out Stu, which never completely made sense to me. And then, like, here's the thing that I have. Like, of the 3 core characters, I think the character that has the least amount of growth is Gale by a country mile. because every movie is just like, we're just going to reset and figure, like, she works here. Never mind, she was fired. Now she's doing a private podcast. Now she's back in the news. Now she's fired again. And morally, she's never consistent. Like, at first in this franchise, she's a totally career obsessed bitch. We love her, but she's a career obsessed bitch. Then she starts to warm a little bit. Dewey kind of softens her. And then by the third one, like, they're fully in love. We're all good. Then the fourth one, she's kind of trying to be a career obsessed bitch again. Then in the fifth one, we're divorced. And then in the sixth one, she's off in like New York fucking some new guy. And then so you have this, and like at this point, it's like they've been through so much shit for 30 years. And you get this sequence where Sydney's, they're doing this like faux interview, which is like, this is the interview that I've been pushing for since the first movie.
Yeah.
For the first time I get to do it. And she's turns into Gail from the first movie again, where she just starts saying uncomfortable shit to piss Sydney off. And like, not for a ruse, just like that's because that's who she is. Like, I get so frustrated and burnt out with the Gail character, where it's just like, do we do anything to like advance her? Because it just feels like she's stuck in like character arc quicksand.
Dude, if the thing, like, talking about things that like they don't really capitalize on modern stuff, you could have had a thing. Don't bring Gail back right away. Have her be like a podcast journalist where she does like fucking Megyn Kelly shit or whatever, and have her do an article where she says something about Sydney that isn't quite on the up and up, and Sydney's pissed at that, and then that's the reason that they get back together, because Gail is back to her old ways, and they need to talk it out to see what the hell's up. Like, I feel like if you take this and put it in the oven a little bit more and pull things out, it could have made more sense for the sake of the characters. But like, all they show you is Gail's hands shake, and she's kind of like, she's going through some shit, taking medication, but like
it's like a sprinkle of a trauma plot line, but they don't really do anything efficient or anything like effective with it. It's just like, oh, she's got some nerve damage. And I'm like, how about Chad? Where's his fucking nerve damage from getting stabbed 87 times in the last movie? But yeah, like that was a moment where I'm like, ooh, maybe they're going to do something different with her character. But that was it. It was just a couple of shots of her, like, that was it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Glad she's back.
This movie completely understands mental health, let me tell you, because between trauma not really being trauma throughout multiple characters, you have the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest crew of killers that, man, they know what they're doing. For people who didn't do any homework, they know exactly what to do. They know the moves. They do all the fucking the knife peeling. They without experience, they know exactly where to hide. They know exactly what to do. They know exactly what types of things to reference in phone calls. I'm sorry, people who are in a mental health facility probably have issues putting certain things together, but there's just a complete disconnect on any sort of mental health things, whether it be trauma or being just outright crazy. It's all a joke. Nothing really feels like it's baked at all. It's just this is happening because fuck it, it needs to happen right now. And none of the characters feel, dude, I'm telling you, once they're in the bar, I'm like, so wait, why are the fucking twins from New York here orchestrating this thing? Like, you're just adding to it because you need more people in this scene to help figure things out. Like, you're just making things worse.
Their whole scene in that sequence, the significance of them being there is to have like the meta commentary scene where like Mindy's like, all right, here's the rules. And he's like, don't fucking do the rules thing. And she's like, all right, I won't, but I'm going to. And so you get a sequence where like the meta commentary on this movie is interesting, because before the movie came out, Kevin Williamson did an interview, and I don't know the exact quote, but it was getting shared around everywhere that he had said something to the effect of like, we're not really doing the meta thing this time around. And everybody was like, what? Because we kind of did that with 6. Like 6 didn't really do a meta thing. It was just kind of continuing the narrative of the characters. But and even that felt like a missed opportunity there. But for him to say that as the series writer, and that's his bread and butter, it was like, what? Then why? What are we doing here? And I feel like he overstated it a bit, because like there is some commentary here, But it's
Yeah,
not
there's
in the
like
traditional Scream form where it's like, this is us riffing on the trends of now
right.
or on the cliches of whatever we're talking about. The commentary on this movie is all about Sydney fans.
Yep.
Like, the whole thing of the movie is like, there's no Scream without Sydney. Sydney's back. Why the fuck wasn't Sydney in the last adventure? And they could never decide what direction they wanted to go with that. Because, like, you'll have one scene that almost feels like it's taking jabs at Scream 6 for the pay dispute. And then
Mhm.
you'll have another scene where it almost seems like it's taking jabs at Nev Campbell for not just sucking it up and being in there. And then you like, there's even some lines like I didn't quite like tonally read it that way when I was watching the movie, but I've seen some other people like regurgitate certain lines out of the movie and be like, "This is a jab against Melissa Barrera," and I'm like, I don't. Oh fuck, it kind of is, isn't it? And
Mm.
so like, I don't. There were like the scene where Gail's like, "I wasn't fired. It was like my contract was ran out," which is the excuse that they gave for Melissa Barrera. So it's like there's
Mhm.
moments like that where I'm like,
Here's
all of
the
that commentary together. I'm like, what is the point you're trying to
It's a
make? Because all you're
fan
doing is,
film. It's just
yeah.
fan film shit.
Yes, yes, it's just throwing everything at the wall instead of having a through line, which is really important because they've always had, for the most part, some kind of a thematic through line with Ghostface's motivation. Like, you
Well,
think back to 4 and 5 especially, like, 4, it was all about influencer, like, the rise of that, like, I wanna be famous, I don't wanna be the fucking family member that nobody cares about, and you get into 5, it's about toxic fandom, and then here it's like, "Isn't it great to be Sydney to have Sydney back? Sydney's the baddest bitch," and it's like, okay, is that all we're doing? Like,
right.
to me, I told somebody it's like they took the line out of Scream 4 at the end where she's like, "Rule number 1, Jill, don't fuck with the original," at the end of 4. It's like they took that and said, "Let's make a movie out of that."
Yeah,
And that's what the
there,
commentary is.
there's sprinklings there in the cold open. In the prologue, there's this thing like, should we really be celebrating things that really happen? And it's a movie doing celebrity within its own universe. It was an interesting touch, but I think after that, what they kind of sprinkle in is trauma and how people deal with trauma, but they don't flesh it out at all. Like Sydney's hardened, and she knows she's got to have it. She's been through it 4 or 5 times, but her daughter is like ultra protected. She doesn't want her to experience anything, and if that were the theme of the movie, that'd be interesting. But none of the three killers have anything to do with trauma. It's just, hey, we're crazy and we're killing because man, isn't this wild? We found these these costumes and we just figured we'd tag along. Uh, it,
Mhm.
it it's such a disconnect. Like the first one, movies don't make psychos. Movie makes psychos more creative. Like that was like a. I mean, shit. Ended up that people copied that movie with that line in real life. Um, I don't think this movie wanted to get too serious about things, but with the beginning scene, they could have really focused on something about, what society does with pop culture and movies that maybe shouldn't be seen by everyone, especially if you're crazy. But this movie says, yeah, crazy people are fucked up and they get great ideas and they're really efficient once they put their mind to things. It it
Mhm.
it just doesn't. There's no connection to anything. There's like it's Sydney's a
There could
badass.
have even been like, you could have taken an angle where, for a long time, it's like Sydney was the celebrity. She was the star. She was the one that everybody remembered. She was, the star of the stab movies and all that kind of stuff. You could have done something interesting where it's like, as society has shifted, the killers are now the ones that are the celebrities, and nobody gives a fuck about Sydney anymore. Or
Yeah,
you open up the movie where they're like, "This is where Amber died. Holy shit!" Like, "Oh, who's your favorite Ghostface? Like, tell me, who's your favorite?" Like, they could have had that be the running gag, and you could have still fit in your whole like tongue in cheek thing about like, "Oh, nobody cared about Sydney because she wasn't in Scream 6," and had some kind of a point there about why are the people that are doing these atrocities now famous, but the people that all these atrocities happen to, nobody gives a fuck about.
right, right. Um, yeah. So like, there's just
Call me
no
Kevin.
there's there's just no through line.
Mhm.
It's just we need Sydney to be a badass because well we gave her all this money and she's gonna have to be a badass. But like that's fine, but I don't know how many times is she gonna do this where it just feels samey. Like At what point?
Apparently until it stops making money now, because I think it's full
Oh,
steam
we're getting
ahead.
an 8
Just
now.
Scream versus Ghostface, the other details, fuck it, we'll figure it out. Like, I don't know. I don't maybe it's my cynical side. I don't see them learning any lessons from the criticism of this film because the money is telling them something else. And
Oh, yeah.
so that's what I fear is like, "Oh, you guys liked it? Okay, cool, more of that." And now Scream is gonna turn into the franchise it used to roast.
Oh,
But
definitely. 6 and 7 have been the 2 worst movies in the franchise.
yes.
I wanna hear
I
that
mean,
3 talk. Don't tell me about 3. 6 and 7 are worse than 3.
I like 6 more than 3, but 3 and 6 are close.
On the
But,
whole, not mostly, the entire experience.
I'll take 6 over 3, but
Fair
it's
enough.
razor thin difference. It's razor thin difference. But yeah, and so, you have the 3rd act, and this is where things really go crazy. So you have the whole thing in the bar. Mindy kind of gives her version of the rules, but it's not actually rules. It's just kind of like commenting on, Sydney and, oh, they gave like a light reference to Melissa Barrera or whatever. And suddenly everybody in this bar just starts going and doing their own thing. Like, let's split up. I'm going to go make pizza. I'm going to go over here. And, I'm going to go outside with the boyfriend and find this fucking laptop that's just,
Dude. Oh
conveniently
my.
left here. So that means he left in the middle of all of this, went and got a green screen, got a camera, set everything up, and didn't just say like, "Hey guys, I'm Stu Mocker." He was just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, you stupid bitch." La, 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 pakow, pakow. Like, when you actually like play it out, like that's why some of these things are so stupid. It's like, come on, guys. But yeah, so she gets the little thing to make the boyfriend like, "Oh, it's him." Didn't believe for a second it was him. And Ghostface shows up. I may be getting the order of events wrong, but like you have that happening while at the newsroom.
Dude, the bar
They
shit
get
is
in a
such a
little
mess. It's
they get
so
in an
all over the place.
argument, and Ghostface finally does call and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go find your daughter at this bar that she's at." What the fuck? She's at a bar. And she runs downstairs, realizes she doesn't have the keys. Gail has the keys upstairs. Rather than go back upstairs and say, "Hey, bitch, let's go. We got to go save my daughter," or "Give me the keys," she decides to I'm going to run 16 miles to the coffee shop. And she hauls ass thinking like, "Oh, it must be down the street." And then she stops at a point and just starts like looking at the fucking Vivint camera or whatever. And she's like, I'm skipping forward a little bit, but like Tatum is in the coffee shop being chased by Ghostface. She's trying to get to Tatum. She's just looking at the video camera of her daughter in danger, and that is the Sydney decision: is I'm going to stand in the middle of the street instead of getting the keys or doing something. I'm just going to stand here and coach you through how to take the safety off a gun. Like that was the one moment in the movie where I'm like, you can't even write Sydney good. Like the whole point is Sydney's a badass and nothing can take Sydney down, and this is the scene that you give her. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude.
I skipped all the deaths and all the action at the bar, but I just ran with it because we were talking about the news station.
Yeah, right. It is all over the place. Again, apologies if you're trying to keep track. Neither of us have rewatched. My memory's dog shit. I tried to take notes, but I get lost during the bar scene, which the kills are something that I kind of noted. When one of the people gets killed and like gets put on a spike and what is it like?
Yeah,
beer comes out of their head or whatever.
Yeah, it's the beer handle for the keg.
Yeah, at that moment I was like, I don't recall Scream being like this gory. Like
no, that's the thing that I was so torn on because like to me it was like finally some creative kills. This is cool. But they ramped up the silliness and they really ramped up the CGI.
Right.
Like even McKenna Grace, all of her guts were CGI, and it was like, okay, fine. And then you get to this kid. So yeah, the chick making pizza gets attacked. She's in the next room. She's literally inside the kitchen. She's getting attacked. She's fighting Ghostface. Neither Chad or Mindy hears it, apparently, even though they're literally separated by one of them swinging doors.
Well,
so they have a whole fight sequence.
She's into the weirdo true crime kid. So, they're in the back to, starting a relationship, I guess.
Maybe I just didn't understand the distance.
Dude,
it seemed like they were literally in the next room. And so to me, I was waiting, like the whole sequence, I'm like, why is nobody running in to help them? Then eventually they do. Mindy and Chad fight for a moment, then they get knocked out, like, oh, so that there's a reason for them not to show up for the next 30 minutes. Then you have the other two kids that are killed in the bar. So she gets dragged across glass, gets one in the jugular, falls on the ground. And then, the nerdy kid, who is their big red herring, gets dragged into the bar, gets picked up by his skull, which takes one strong motherfucker and sticks him onto like the beer handle, which is like a spike. And then his mouth starts spilling out CGI beer. And that was the kill where I was like, fuck yes. Oh, you fucked it up with the CGI. Like, again, I'm not a practical effects expert, but like, could we not have just done that practical? Could we not have put a hose in his mouth and did it like something? Just having a CGI beer, I was like, it just took the wind out of my sails, because I would have loved to come out of this movie and be like, the kills are fucking awesome. But I was like, yeah, the kills are creative, but they're silly.
Yeah, I don't even know if the gore is creative. I don't know if the kills are creative. I just feel, especially like you said, bringing up the CGI. Is that really being creative when you just have some fucking program putting in blood and shit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very gory. It's probably the goriest Scream movie, but it's so unearned. And yeah, VK Studios, we are to assume that the person who's doing all that killing in the bar is of a small stature, is all I'll say.
And I'll be honest, that's an issue that runs throughout the entire franchise that I never really get that bugged about.
Right.
I kind of have like this, it doesn't make any sense logically, but it's easy for me to just turn this switch on where it's like Ghostface in the costume is like another person. Like, that's a totally different character than unmasked Ghostface, because you go back to part 4, it's like there ain't nobody that Emma Roberts is picking up, and there's a whole bunch. Even, we're supposed to believe that Mikey Madison is the one that killed Dewey, and this much taller than Dewey. Like, that's just unfortunately one of those things that you got to suspend that for this franchise. So that didn't bug me.
What I think about more is the production level. Knowing that they're going to be at the bar and shooting your Stu FaceTime video with your green screen and all that shit. So the pair of leftover killers are doing some heavy production to call Sydney. Like, it if you think about it for longer than 10 seconds, it really, really doesn't make sense and gets really contrived. I know why they know that the group is at the bar, because, well, the true crime kid's mom is, well, we'll get to it. It's spoiler. She's one of the killers.
Now we're warning about spoilers. Sorry, guys. Go back. Let's start over.
I don't know what I'm doing. But like, after the movie is over, I'm like, wait, what is this? Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. And there's no weight to anything. I feel like after the bar, who's technically left that we know of? Because
after the bar, you've got Tatum and the boyfriend. That happened. I think that happens right outside the coffee shop. Maybe I might be twisting it, but like, you have the bar thing, then you have that happening somewhere else at the same time with the laptop thing, and he gets fucking pincushioned immediately after that. So they don't even like let you like live in the thought of maybe it's the boyfriend for more than like a minute, because he's chasing after her and he's like, look, let me explain, and then just gets taken out. And then you have the whole thing in the coffee shop where Sydney's hauling ass, and there's the video camera, and she shoots where Sydney tells her to, and still doesn't shoot him in the fucking head, even though that's all Sydney said. Shoot him in the head, shoot him down, shoot him in the head, shoot him, get him on the ground, shoot him in the fucking head. And let me walk over him first.
Yes. So the timing of this is like, this stuff at the bar is happening at the same time as the interview on the TV station, but she doesn't.
Right after.
They don't get the phone call while they're filming, because Gail had to ask some heavy duty questions that Sydney wasn't into. So Ghostface wasn't able to call in at the appropriate time. For the life of me, when you think about what's happening as far as where the ghost faces are, So one, their duty is to call into Sydney, and the other is to take care of business at the bar.
I'm pretty sure the news thing happens first, and then him saying, "Hey,
But
we're
aren't they
gonna go to your
watching the news?
daughter."
They're watching the news at the bar.
At the bar, yes, but none of the killings or anything start yet. That's still when everything's copacetic and everything's cool. And then you have the whole thing where finally Stu calls in and is like, "Hey, your daughter's at this thing. I'm gonna go there now. You better get there." Which even then is just like, where are the fucking police in this town? Because just go back to what I was bitching about earlier. Like, okay, instead of going back upstairs and getting the keys, let me run for 16 miles. Also, why the fuck don't you call the cops? Maybe she calls her husband in that moment. I can't remember. But even then, if he doesn't answer,
Yeah.
call the fucking cop. Like,
Doesn't he
there's
have a
nobody on
partner
the
that you can get in
street.
touch with?
There's no traffic. They're supposed to be patrolling around this town. That's the whole thing about the curfew. You don't see a fucking cop in the entire second half of this movie. And then you have that scene. Yeah, after her boyfriend's killed, you got Tatum in town, like, somebody help. It's like House of Wax. There's just nobody. It's just fake town. So yeah, after Sydney finally gets to her daughter, I think she gets to her daughter like after her daughter's starting to get attacked by Ghostface again. Was it her?
Yeah, dude, I have this like void. I just
Yeah, like this whole there's so much that happens in this little section that I'm trying to like keep it straight in my brain. Eventually, she gets back with her daughter. No. The daughter gets taken. That's what it is. So she gets fucking knocked out, and the daughter gets taken
oh
because then they have the whole thing at the third act. It's at her house where it's just like, where do I meet you? She's like, where the heart is, and so they go
home
to yeah, they go home, and that's what it is.
where
So
the heart
I
is.
messed up the details. So yeah, she doesn't shoot Ghostface. Ghostface knocks her out,
Well, it's
and then she
because
gets that she sees on the video that her daughter's
yeah, shoot to the wall, shoot now or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, it was interesting.
exactly.
It was an interesting touch.
Yeah, cool sequence. Again,
Mhm.
there's details around why Sydney is stuck in the middle of the street that I can't get past, but that sequence in and of itself is cool. And you know, trying to teach her daughter like you can be the badass, you can be fucking Sydney Prescott's daughter, like do this, like okay, I'm digging all that. But yeah, she gets taken by Ghostface. Ghostface tells Sydney come home, and she goes home, and all of a sudden, you like every screen in the fucking house starts to be Stu, and then it turns into her brother,
Dude, the
which
production
was like
level.
what why is the brother being referenced and like like okay, and then it turns into Mrs. Loomis, and it's like you guys are just fucking just stroking that nostalgia dick right
Mhm.
now. Like it should have just been Stu. That was weird to go to other characters for like one random moment, but nonetheless, it's Stu the whole time. And she goes, you know, we're gonna do it all the way back to the beginning. I have somebody outside in the back porch tied to a chair.
Wait, hold on. When do they have time to set up all the TVs and their fucking programming to have this little situation? Like, how do you schedule that? If you're busy killing,
They show a camera, like one shot of a camera somewhere. I don't know what that's like motion detection camera. Like I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But you get that whole nostalgia jerk off section, and then just like we're gonna go in the back, and I have somebody tied to a chair like the first movie, which
would you
I don't.
know?
I was gonna say, would Nev Campbell even
Right.
know the significance of that because she wasn't there?
Yeah, that was Drew Barrymore's boyfriend.
Nonetheless, yeah. Again, for the fans, that's for that's something for the viewers, not for the characters in the movie,
Mhm.
and the two are not mutually exclusive. She goes, opens up the thing, and Tatum's attached to this chair, and there's Ghostface behind her, and we get an unmask, and it's Ethan Embry, and I'm like, shocker! Please save this with a motivation or with a second twist.
Oh,
Were you suspecting the blonde lady, by the
yes.
way? Yeah,
Yes.
same. Okay. So I figured like to me, what I was hoping for, even though this still would not have worked, there would have been a myriad of problems. But what I was hoping for was that this was like a cult of Stu type thing. Was like Stu is actually the mastermind, and there's a bunch of these random bumfuck people that we're not going to care about because they're going to save it with Stu ultimately being revealed as like, I'm the leader. There's four of us, bitch. Like something so you
Yeah.
get the unmask there. He says some random fucking line about like, "Oh yeah, I used to work at AI at Google, or I used to work like IT at Google," and it's like, yeah. Now I have no questions. And then you get like a ghost face that starts to come up behind him to tease, as they're talking about Stu, to tease that it's going to be Stu, and it comes off and it's the blonde chick. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you got more, right?
Yeah, please.
You got more, right?
Please be 15 of them.
Telling you something. I was still holding that like, okay, like it's again, the cult of Stu idea. There was a time and a place for that. It's too late, but that's going to be better than whatever the fuck this is, if this is all you got. And then they wheel out Joel McHale, and it's like, that motherfucker was stabbed like 12 hours ago, like 6 times. He's still alive. Like, we're still doing Scream 6 shit. Hi, honey. You forget about me? Like, anyway, so he's down there at the ground, and you know, the daughter's reaction was appropriate. And then she starts going into her motivation.
Dude, when she says, I killed my husband, it's like,
what the fuck was going on here? Like, I think Sean texted me and he's like, word salad the motivation was what he wrote down after the movie. And that's what it was. Like, she just starts talking, and it's just like, yeah, like, my husband was abusive, so then I got strength by reading your book, and so I killed him. And it's like, okay, there's an interesting nugget of something in there. Where are you going with this? And it just turns into this weird thing where, like, I guess the motivation is supposed to be some strange meta thing about like the fans' attachment to Sydney. Which again is like, what is your point in this movie? Are we supposed to be celebrating the fact that Sydney is back? Or are you ridiculing us for wanting Sydney back?
right.
Is she right for not being in Scream 6? Or is she wrong for not being in Scream 6? Like, what the fuck are you trying to say here? You're just saying everything at once.
But the 3 ghost faces that are working in unison, what is their shared motivation to be working together? Because they don't have a shared motivation. How are they on the same page?
They try so hard to get you to believe the blonde chick's motivation, but I struggle to remember exactly what the through line was to the other 2 people. I don't know if they were friends. Like, I genuinely forget. And that should tell you everything, because I've never walked out of a Scream film and be like, what was motivation for Scream Face? I can't remember exactly what Ghostface was talking about. So yeah, she just goes on this big fucking rant about blah, 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 blah. Ethan Embry gets taken out quick. And, you know, nobody gives a fuck about Carl. Nobody did. And so it turns this whole sequence where it's, you know, Tatum and Sydney, again, a whole sequence of just like, look how badass Sydney is. Nobody can take down Sydney. And it's like, the other movies showed us that. You just keep telling us that.
Right.
And if you keep telling us that, I know without a shadow of a doubt, nobody's going to fucking die or have any consequences in this movie whatsoever, because it's just about propping up Sydney to an unsufferable degree.
Dude, even
like,
the daughter's like, I'm not like you.
Like, yeah, and then she follows up, I'm Sydney fucking Prescott's daughter. And it's like, okay. I thought it was cool that they both like just obliterated this chick's face. But
yeah.
So
out
like
of Pulp Fiction, just
yeah, they take down Ghostface, and it's like, that's the end. And you know, Gail shows back up, and Chad and Mindy, hey, we're good. And like, what happened? We missed her. Oh fuck, we missed everything. Shit, back to New York. And like, it's sad that a solid Ghostface reveal could have saved this movie for me. I could have had a lot of problems, but been like, okay, but they brought it back together. That was kind of cool. And I was shocked. Like, I still cannot fully believe that this is the 3rd act that we got. And I cannot understand for the life of me how Kevin Williamson, of all people, looked at this script and said, that's good. Let's shoot it. Like, it's not even like, again, as a movie, if this, and it is for me, but if this is the floor, you're still better than a lot of other franchises.
Right.
This is not like Jason Takes Manhattan level or Freddy's Dead level.
Right.
Cool. But this is such a steep decline from what I expect from this franchise that it feels the same. Even though it's a 2 out of 5 for me, in my heart, it feels like a 1 out of 5, because it's like, how do you fuck up Ghostface reveal that epically to where, like, I'm on record for 2+ years now. Like, I hated the last 20 minutes of Scream 6. I hated the performances. I hated the motivations. I hated the identities. I was like, this was like the best sequel in the franchise to me. And then in the last 20 minutes, you made it arguably the worst in the whole franchise. That is how much it went off a fucking cliff after those masks came off. I would have thought it was never going to be worse than that. We are never going to be worse than that.
Dude.
I will take Scream 6's third act every day of the week and twice on Sunday over the one that we got here.
The fucking third act from 6 is like Citizen Kane compared to this one.
Yeah, at least some shit happens and shot well. There's some cool action. You get Sam in the fucking Ghostface mask just tearing up Dermot Mulroney. Like, there's actually cool shit in that third act that makes up somewhat for the stupid ass reveals and the weird fucking performances. But once this third act gets started, it's just like, it's like they wrote it that day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So someone in chat says, no, bro, watch 6 and 7 back to back. 7 is better. I'm not like, yeah,
No,
that's
absolutely
fine.
not.
Just why? Why is it better? Like, I don't understand.
I saw somebody earlier say 7's better than 5 and 6 too, but I never hear anybody explain why. Is it just because it's not Sydney? It's not the thing that I know? I'm not trying to be condescending, but yeah, I never hear an explanation. It's just like, no, this is better.
It's genuine.
How?
It's genuine.
What about it specifically is better?
Like, yeah, just the thing that I know and like, dude, that's fucking Star Wars shit. That's fucking Marvel from the 2020s.
It's like the people that tell me Freddy's Dead is better than the Nightmare on Elm Street remake because Robert Englund's in it, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I like to genuinely like. What about it is better? Like, are you with it at that point? If you take Nev Campbell out, because it seems to be like because Sydney's the baddest. You take Nev Campbell and have it be any other final girl, just some random person, because that it doesn't really matter who Sydney is because these people that are after her, they don't have a connection to her either. So it doesn't matter who Sydney is. It's just these people who are doing the fucking Ghostface killers. And also they're close enough to Sydney to do this stuff. Is it okay to you then if you change Sydney, if you change Nev Campbell to anyone else, is it the same for you? And what is so great about it? Because I'm sorry, I fail to understand what the motivation is, what the conflict is, like what's thrilling about it. It just does not compute to me. And again, thinking about what we know about the franchise, going back to the beginning scene, which was actually kind of good, what's the connection there? Why would they go to the original house just to burn it down? For what reason? Like, if they're fucking like super fans, that would be one thing, but they don't even do that. They're just fucking loony. Like, they're just fucking, they all shared a fucking room together at the loony bin? It does not make sense. It doesn't connect.
Mm-hmm. And the longer she talks, it's more like her motivation is again, like the reason that she's killing is because Sydney wasn't in New York and isn't the star anymore. It's like, I needed you to keep making books. I need you to keep being. And so now since you're not, I'm going to kill everybody and I'm going to kill you. And it's like,
yeah.
What are you talking about, bitch? Like, it doesn't make any sense for the character and a logic stance. And in whatever meta angle you're trying to go for there is dumb as fuck.
Dude, think 20 seconds longer. If your son's a weird true crime kid, frame him for the fucking murders. You want him dead? Frame him. Like, you want him.
That was stupid too. Like, you killed your son. He was too much like his dad. It's like
what? I mean, I get it. A cute.
That kid could not have been less violent. So it's like his dad was an asshole. That kid could not have been more like, what's the term that they use? Beta? Is that the term? That kid couldn't have been more of a beta in the movie. So one time you'll hear me say that in a decade. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just like, again, the third act could have saved it. I still would have had problems. I still would have been toying with, okay, which one's worse? But like, it was the first act I really liked. The second act was where I started to have a lot of concerns. And then the third act was just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Did we ever get a response? What about 6 is better? Richie's family becoming killers was dumb and the most ridiculous. I mean, yeah, and I've heard that too. I've heard people be like, you guys didn't call it out in 6. I'm like, I did. He did. He did. So can't use that on us. Okay. We bitched incessantly for like an hour and a half about that fucking movie.
I was sleeping through it. So to be fair, I didn't call it out as much.
We went back. We saw it a second time the next day and wrote notes and came in and did a whole fucking video that I think is on Patreon. But we were, I mean, everything. There was things in the beginning of the movie that didn't make sense after that. You're sitting there wondering, okay, Gail wrote a whole book on Richie, but didn't know what this fucking family looked like. There they are, bitch. Like, yeah, there's stupid shit in 6. This is dumber.
No, absolutely.
And there's more of it.
Dude, there's like no connection. Like it's so weird. I mean, I get it. You got to do something to change the pace. So by the first act, things are fucking cruising. The difference between some, I'll just keep comparing it to the first one. Scream 1, like you're getting a relationship. They're partying together. Like you know some things about different characters. Uh, Billy gets arrested, and you're thinking it's him for a bit, and then she gets called from like their misdirects in 1 are a bit more creative. Like when she gets called from Ghostface, but Billy's in jail, but you don't know it. Like Dewey's locked in his bedroom or whatever, and then he comes out as the phone hangs up. Like, ooh, that's interesting timing. Like it felt more earned. In 7, it's just like we need this to happen because the next scene has to do this. Like there's no like rewarding the audience for being like, oh, that's interesting. You show a guy who makes an angry face, and
their way of doing red herrings now is just have somebody act weird.
Yeah, or make a gnarly face to camera.
Where like you said, all the way back to the first film and maybe even some of the other sequels, it's like you set up reasons, like plot reasons why. Wait a minute. Like it's not like, why are they talking so much about some shit they shouldn't know? Or like, why is this random fucking dude taking me beyond security measures to go show me this room just so I can see shit that he planted there, so that's part of his plan? Like, that's the thing that really sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I don't think that they've been great about hiding the Ghostface identity for the last 3 movies. And I like 5 a lot. That's near the top of my ranking.
Yeah, 5's coming back around for me. Like
5, like I pegged within a scene that Jack Quaid was Ghostface because of this, where he's like, I've never heard of the stab movies. I was like, okay, on the nose. And then 6, we talked about that, but I don't think they've done great with the Ghostface reveals for the last 3. But there's been redeeming factors. Like I knew who one of the killers was in 5, but their motivation was really cool. It was like, oh, toxic fandom, that makes sense. That's relevant. And it's only become more relevant. 6 doesn't really work on any level, but this one is just it's again, I'll take 6. I'll take 6 over this.
Right. Well, like the second they're in the bar, nothing matters. It just, things are just flying off the handle because again, the twins.
Jordan talks films. The motives in these movies don't matter, though. They have always been trash, even in the first movie.
Stop
yet
it.
Scream 1 is still a 10 out of 10 movie. Billy wants to kill Sydney because her mom made his mom leave him. The motives don't matter as long as there's a good performance, which I think Anna Camp delivers. I mean, no. I can't agree with any of that.
Dude, that's some coke.
The motive is the entire climax to the commentary and the point of the movie. So if the motive, I'm not saying all the motives are perfect, but they're at least clever, fun, cheeky. They have something to do with the actual plot of the movie. The first one.
Dude, her motive for Sydney is no different than her motive for anybody else. Like she killed her husband and then she ended up getting rid of her son. So, Sydney is just like fucking happenstance. Like, oh yeah, I guess I'll wear this fucking ghost face get up because, like, again, she's familiar with how to kill people because she's killed her husband already. And that's already something she's done without getting dressed up like Ghostface. So why do this charade with partners now? Like her motivation does not make sense. No one's motivations make sense. Their motivation to kill, sure, they're crazy, whatever. But the connection to Sydney, it does not connect. There's no reason. There's no reason for it to be Sydney.
Yeah, and I'm really curious. Like, I would actually like to know the series of events of this script. Like, I don't know if they just completely tore up and threw away everything that they had planned for Scream 7. I don't know if there's bones of that here. Like, a lot of this script really does feel like Mad Libs for me, where it's like the motivation is going to depend on whether we can get Nev Campbell back or not, or who's going to be the lead, and who are the returning characters for the second act. I don't know. Just write some generic shit, and we'll let them, like, we'll add a couple of rewrites in here to tailor the dialogue to whoever decides to come back. And so that's kind of like, instead of having like, okay, here's our starting point. This is what we're going to comment on. This is what Ghostface's motivation is going to be. Let's build from there. It felt like that was the last thing they figured out here. We got Nev Campbell. Okay. She's got a daughter now. Um, there's going to be kills of the daughter's friends. We'll have some cheeky stuff about now she's the same age as Nev. We'll throw in some nostalgia because people are pissed at us. What's motivation for Ghostface? Fuck, I don't know. Sydney wasn't there before. Like that's what it feels like. Which again, it's like Kevin Williamson was steering the ship. That doesn't compute for me.
Did Anna Camp say how long she was neighbors? Because I know there was like a line or two about
I don't know.
You weren't here or something. I'm trying to remember what the hell the exact line was, but I don't remember what the fuck it was or how long she was her neighbor. And is that happenstance? Like, was she crazy and wanting to kill her husband?
It's coming back to me a little bit now. So because of the absence of Sydney in 6 or in the New York events, as they call it, I think she ended up in that mental place. And that's how you tie those two together, or those three together. She ended up in that mental place because she had like a break. And then she got out and moved next to Sydney. Which I don't know even how, like, it seems crazy to me that you could like find where Sydney lives that easily. Like she was like literally in lockdown in the 3rd movie. But nonetheless, I'm pretty sure that was the order of events.
Dude,
so
I need a map.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the motivation. It's not just something clean. It's I was being abused by my husband. I read your book. The thing that I got out of it was kill your oppressors. So I killed my husband. And then you weren't there anymore. Like you weren't part of the action anymore. So then I had a mental break because you weren't at New York. And so I went to a mental ward, and then I met a couple of dudes that are also fucked in the head. And then I got out and I moved my son here to be next to you. And now I'm going to kill you with these people that I met at the mental ward because you weren't in New York. And how dare you not be there? And you didn't want to be in the limelight anymore. And so I'll just kill you. What?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Someone brought up, and she was no Sharon Stone. I don't think there's any lines in this movie either. Like there's no charm to it.
Yeah. And there was something about like, I think she had some kind of a thing with her daughter too. Like she was trying to turn her daughter into the new Sydney or something like that. But like the way to turn her into the new Sydney was to let her kill you, which obviously wasn't part of the plan. So it just doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it was a movie for Sydney. It would have been interesting to see Tatum, her daughter, have some sort of arc, or she's kind of fucked up and sheltered in the beginning, but I guess the arc at the end is she finally decides to help her mom shoot Anna Camp, and
yeah, she rises to the occasion. Like, I guess I can be a badass too. And I like the scene at the very end where she tells, even though I don't buy it, because it's the first film does not establish her being such close friends with Tatum. Like Tatum is like the queen friend for the rest of forever.
Film shit.
That's what I mean. So you get to the end. I like the scene in theory of her saying, like, I named you Tatum because Tatum was these things, and that's what I wanted for you. Like, the idea of that is great. But that's not the Tatum that we know. We just know her as the chick with the hard nipples in the fucking garage. Like, it doesn't. No.
Tatum was 16, and you're what, in your 50s now?
Yeah.
You've lived
Again,
twice
it's borderline
as much life after that.
It's borderline Halloween 2018 writing, where it's just like I had a couple friends die 40 years ago, and I haven't been able to move on from that night at all. And that's all I think about all day. And it's like I don't know, man. You haven't mentioned Tatum in the last 4 movies.
Her characteristics don't match that, though. Like, it doesn't make... If she's a badass, she's a badass. If she's a badass, then she doesn't have to worry about fucking having a fucking panic room and all this other shit. But she all of the above. She's got a panic room. She's a badass, and she's fucked up about talking about her past. And if you wear a jacket from fucking college, man, that is no good. That's bad news. Don't wear that jacket. I have trauma with that jacket. And then the thing I wore in part 1, and the thing I wore in part 3. And
what would have been more appropriate is if she pulled something out of the attic that was Tatum's. Like if it was one of the outfits she wore in the first movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Would have been still on the nose fan film shit, but I don't know.
I'm okay with it. Can you earn it a little bit more?
But Cody, you can't explain crazy. Jessica's motive is stupid, but they don't have to make sense because they just choose to kill people because that's what they want to do. Then why are we here? Why tell story? Just show Ghostface kill people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't I'm not trying to be aggressive towards you, but like that's the stuff that annoys me because like that's the thing where it's just telling the filmmakers, doesn't matter. Don't put effort into it. Just Ghostface. That's all they want. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney
And
and
then I'm the
Ghostface.
asshole for wanting some standards.
Well, yeah, like if it doesn't matter, just have Stu alive. I mean
Yeah.
that's don't you want Stu back? That's kind of why he is back because fucking fans talked about it enough. Just have him be the killer and like say he a TV doesn't kill you. Like if it doesn't matter, just do the thing that everybody wants.
Yeah.
It has to matter at some point. Something needs to matter. Otherwise, if it doesn't matter, what the fuck are you watching the thing for?
Yeah.
Just tell me what I want to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Because your home isn't usual for Scream. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wes Craven
It
has to be
pains me to think
rolling.
this movie made a lot of money and 28 years later Bone Temple flopped. Preach.
Ooh,
I kept going back to box office, and obviously we can't really have an effective conversation because it's way too early for this film, but like Scream 4 was the only one that like in
bombed.
today's age would
Yeah.
have been called a bomb because it just I don't know, something about it. It wasn't the time for it.
Mhm.
Scream 6 is the one that has made the most amount of money so far.
Oh no, 7. Their weekends. I think they're at a 95 million total worldwide already.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at just worldwide
Oh,
total, or I'm looking at domestic. Never mind, worldwide. I guess this is adjusted for inflation. They still have the first one in first place and the second one in second place. But as far as domestic total and opening weekend, like the sixth one
well,
kicked major ass
well,
in
7
comparison to the others.
7 is now the opening weekend will be the best in the franchise because I think
I know.
it's 65. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm looking. It's got like a line
Sorry.
graph where it's showing like all the movies and where they tapered off at, and so you have all the way to the left. You have Scream 7 that's on the trajectory
Mhm.
to go way over, unless this has just a horrific second weekend. But these movies have never done gangbusters. But Scream 5 came out, made pretty good money, but it had been a while, and then Scream 5 was received so well that I think Scream 6 really got a lot of momentum off of that, and it's surprising to me with how divisive Scream 6 was. I'm trying to the reason I'm bringing this, I'm trying to find an explanation for why this movie is overperforming so much with the fan base in such a splintered state. Like, I don't and again, I love Nev Campbell as Sidney Prescott. I don't buy that just saying Sidney Prescott is back is what's driving this so much because it's not like it's been that long since she's been back. It'd be one thing if we haven't seen her since the 90s, but do you have any kind of an idea or an explanation for why Scream 7 so far has had just like a ton of hype and is really killing it with these opening weekends? Is it just because horror is in such a strong state right now?
It
Is it because there's no other real competition in February?
it could be. Um, I eh, I don't want to connect as far as box office is concerned. I don't want to connect dots, but people tend to throw money to support something that has nothing to do with the film itself. Um,
Do you think the anti Melissa
and
Barrera crowd just really
right,
came out in droves?
right. Well, I don't give a shit about them. It's this like anti woke, pro woke thing that like I'm just gonna go watch this movie because fuck those people. I don't know if that's the case, but you can't rule
I've
it out.
definitely seen a lot of that, even from people that I'm friends with, where they've really made that their personality this weekend, where it's like everybody bitching about the movie. They're like, what's the box office say? And they're not normally that type of person. So it's
Mm-mm.
very much a narrative of like sticking it to the crowd that was trying to ruin the movie and spoil it.
Yeah, it's
But is that enough to justify $90 million? Like, I don't know. I'm I'm trying to figure out an explanation because I know a lot of people are going to go to the conclusion of like, see, take Melissa out, put Nev in, and look at just skyrockets. And I just don't buy that.
well, yeah. Look, the issue is you're rewarding shortcuts. Like,
Yeah.
is this the movie in the franchise? Granted, it hasn't touched one or two yet, but It probably
If it
will.
ends up being the highest grossing, you want this to have the
Yeah.
crown?
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it. I get it. There was a point where I was like, "Just give me new Friday the 13th." I get it. Trust me, if you're a Scream diehard, I understand you just want new shit. At a certain point, don't you want good shit? Because just the same old shit and new, um, that gets tired because you'll have favorites that you'll go back to. Will you go back to 7 when you can watch 1 again, when you can watch 2 again, when you can watch 5 again? Will you do that? Because I think you're lying to yourself if you say, "Oh, perfect. This deserves all of the money. This is the direction you should be spiraling off of." There's no connection to these characters. It's just Sydney being a badass. And so what with the box office, you're telling the producers is, yes, more of this, please. We like this. This is what we're willing to pay for. And like, that's not fair.
That's what I mean. I mean, you've even had like that. They do that all the time. Very rarely does it seem like producers, studios, everybody learn lessons from fan reception, critic scores, if the money is telling them something else.
Sure.
How many Transformers movies did Michael Bay make? You know, they don't care to a certain point. Like you already had, I saw somebody share, and I did not go on her Instagram to verify this. Of course, people can fake shit. So if this is false, then ignore
Stu?
me. But no, 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 yeah, exactly. But it looked pretty fucking legit. So you had Anna Camp who plays the, you know, the blonde, the ghost face in this, where she put something out like, see, the critics tried to sabotage it, and this, and or the critics hate couldn't stop us, the boycotts couldn't stop us, and it was the box office projections. And it's like that's what you get when a movie succeeds at the box office, but the critic scores are low, the critics are assholes.
Mhm.
But then when you guys get another movie like this and it sucks, then all of a sudden everybody's gonna forget all that.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, if something is up, they'll jump on that. Very rarely are there both a positive critic score and the box office are high. So if one thing is up, they'll just point to that and see, these people are wrong. And I don't know if that's fair or right or whatever.
I
Uh,
don't know. And you can't trust the audience score because those are so easily manipulated, especially when you got something like this where there's two different camps trying to inflate or deflate the numbers.
there's
Like,
so much exterior shit going on with this
yeah,
where it's so hard to be like, yep, this is an honest representation of what's going on. And I don't know if this happened when 6 came out, but like there's a lot of Scream diehards that I haven't properly paid that much respect to, but like I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think like when in my life could I have experienced a new Friday the 13th and been like, new, awesome, thank you so much. Like I guess when Freddy vs. Jason came out, I thought that was fun, but I wasn't like defending it to the point that some of the things I've seen on my algorithm where it's kind of weird.
yeah,
The critics are wrong. A lot of the critics are wrong. Like kind of like I guess clickbait because I haven't clicked on it. A lot of Scream is dot dot dot. And Scream is what? Um, I don't know. I think the money, the box office, the Rotten Tomatoes scores, all of that. People only use that when they feel some sort of
affirmed.
right to be like, well, see, there's this. Like, it's dude, it's art. It's subjective. It's how you feel about something. If something made $10 and you love it, you're the $10. What does it matter? What it's doing with everyone else? That doesn't change how you feel about it.
Yep.
And to recognize that a bunch of people are not having a good time with it and just being like, no, the box office is high. Well, yeah, but that doesn't change the fact they didn't have a good time. They're giving you the reasons why it doesn't work, why it feels contrived, unlike, giving reasons why it does work, where you just say, no, it's better. Trust me, bro. I don't know why art and subjectivity in film get to this point where you point to something that is a number that you can point to. And again, this is somebody who likes talking about box office, but it's weird when there's this like outside world shit that kind of taints all of it.
Mhm.
I don't. It's odd. I don't think it's pure though. I, I if there was such like a command, a demand for it, the Scream franchise, 5 would have done really well. Although I guess that was during COVID, so maybe that's like something of a blind spot. I don't know if normies think, "Oh man, I need Nev Campbell in Scream," because name me something Nev Campbell's in the 21st century that people have enjoyed. Yeah, Wild Things was a fucking 30 years ago. What has she done in the 21st century that isn't
I
Scream?
think she does a lot of TV work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think
But
that
anyway,
translates to
no,
normies though.
she's known predominantly for this character for
Right.
sure. She knows that, and that's one of the reasons why she was, so upset in 6 and very willing to come back in 7 because I'd imagine the paychecks she gets for Scream are the best paychecks that she gets,
Eh,
especially if she has negotiating power of like, "Look how bad you fucked up. You wanna pay me now?" I don't blame her for coming back.
sure, sure,
I mean,
make
I
that
woulda
money.
came back. You know what I mean? "Yeah, great script. When we shoot?" You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, let me ask you this too, because this is kind of something that I have felt after watching this movie that is a difficult conversation to have with Scream fans, but I think it's an important one. Say what you will about 5 or 6. They have their flaws, especially 6. But how much longevity do you really feel like this franchise has? How much potential to actually, like, continue and evolve do you think it actually has if we're just gonna hitch the wagon to Sidney Prescott and Gale forever and always? They're clearly not gonna kill them because the one time they had the balls to kill somebody was Dewey in 5, and the fans have bitched about it ever since. And how do you have an effective slasher with actual tension if your characters have impenetrable plot armor, which was one of the biggest problems with 6 was everybody who got stabbed lived.
See, I
So
think
how do you continue making Scream movies if it's just have Sydney and have Ghostface and whatever happens happens and then they walk away victorious at the end like they always do? Like what is left to be done with that?
dude, the interesting thing is about horror and slashers, Scream is the anomaly where, Freddy, it's always Robert Englund, it's always Freddy, Jason, it's always Jason, Michael Myers, it's always
Mhm.
Michael Myers. But inverted, Scream,
It's always
it's
Sydney
always
and
Sydney
then
and some
yeah.
guy in a mask. Like
Mhm.
it's the same outfit, but it's always different people in there. I think Scream is the one anomaly where it doesn't really matter who the killers are. You just got to work that out at the end. Just as long as you have that fucking weird sign and the phone call thing. I want to say no, like they've kind of run aground with Sydney, but uh, I mean they've had different killers every time, and it's still going rather strong. So I nothing about my experience in 7 tells me, oh yeah, this can go another 10 movies long. But the money it made is you're getting at least one more, if not two. To,
Yeah, and that's the depressing thing for me is like again, I had major issues with 6, but I thought there was still a lot of potential of places still to go with those new characters. Eventually, we were, supposed to get a movie that they've come out with and said eventually Sam was supposed to turn into one of the ghost faces, like she was supposed to succumb to Billy essentially trying to make the daughter a serial killer. Wish I could have seen that. Would have been totally different. Having sister versus sister, having a protagonist change. And now it's just like with 7, even if 7 was good, I would ask the same question. What now? So it's just get Sydney and Gale back, have a new ghost face. And I guess now Tatum's just gonna have new friends. That's gonna be our rotating list of side characters. But it's like,
I mean,
what is left to be done if we're not even going to like they're gonna pump these out like hotcakes
oh
now. Like
sure,
Kevin Williamson's already said he hopes to shoot this by early 2027.
Jesus
And
Christ.
so I would not be surprised whatsoever if we don't get this like next Halloween.
I
And so even the key piece to Scream, which was commenting on horror genre and trends of the time and how things have changed, once you start cranking them out like this, you can't do that anymore. They could do it in the first couple because they could talk about horror and then they could talk about sequels and then they could talk about trilogies. But that's why you had that long wait until 4, and then 4 was riffing on remakes, and then you had a long wait until 5, and then 5 was riffing on legacy sequels and requels because that's what was the big
Uh-huh.
thing there. What is going to change in horror? There
Well,
wasn't anything for them to comment on in 2026. What is going to change from now until early 2027 that is going to give them anything to comment on?
I think
And if
you
you don't have any meta commentary, then what is left to do with the Sydney character besides just make her kill Ghostface again?
you can catch up with the things that you brought up, like the social media aspect. There's something to that celebrity. You can have something where someone who also was tormented by a killer or something, but no one knows their name, and but everyone knows Sydney's name. So this person who themselves survived a situation with someone trying to kill her, she's like fucking jealous and bothered by it. So she decides to go torment Sydney, and her motivation is, why do you get all the credit? Why are you everyone's hero when I went through the same situation you did?
Yeah.
Like that's like a morsel. You brought up celebrity and social media, and like there's something there. It just sit on it, put it in the
Mhm.
oven a little bit. Like there's and if you have to, I'm sure there's something you can do because they haven't like beaten everything to death just yet.
Mhm.
But I I think the thing that was interesting about the first couple of Scream movies, like if they knew where the direction they were going, and they wouldn't have killed anyone in that first movie because, oh man, it the amount of people we could have. I mean, like they're regretting killing Stu. I mean, shit, you'd have Randy do his thing. Like it, you keep doing the same thing over and over again with different characters, but what was impressive about those first few movies was you were killing characters that people didn't expect you to kill and people fell in
Yeah.
love
They
with.
killed Randy in the
Right,
second film.
right. Like you got to grow balls again because I don't know. I don't like you've got two people left that you can kill, and I mean I get it. You maybe don't want to do that, but make it worth it.
Mhm.
I I don't I don't know. Yeah, someone in the chat says the family of victims being the killer. Yeah, there's
They've
something.
done that twice already,
Right, 3, yeah, right, right.
2 and 6.
Oh, 2, right,
Well,
yeah.
it was the ghost face, not the victims, but still potato, potato. Um, they missed the boat on the influencer trend, I think. Stu running an Instagram community would have been their only shot. And see, that's what I was hoping for with this one. And knowing them, they're probably still holding that in the back fucking pocket. Like, I saw a video today, and I'm assuming it was from Scaradice, which was a big con that was going on this weekend. And a lot of the Scream 7 people were there, and they were asking somebody asked Matthew Lillard, like, what they thought about his usage in 7, like, kinda being the red herring and the AI or whatever, and he was so careful with his words that I would not be shocked if he signed a multi-picture deal, and eventually they will pull that card if they have nothing else left, is like, Stu actually is alive, and, like, they're just keeping it until the next movie or the ninth film or
Y
whatever. But then at that point, it's so fucking stupid, and we're just gonna randomly do shit. It's like, it ruins the whole point of having a continuity that's been 30 years strong. Because if
yeah,
we're just gonna start doing Chucky shit where it's like, "We can do anything now,"
yeah.
then
But that was like, that's what was fun about Scream, like, they were so smart and
mhm,
aware of things that they were above the stuff that they were making fun of. I don't
yeah.
think they can do that. Like, they are the things that they were making fun of. Like, you're doing this, if not worse, you're doing the same shit.
Some people have said that throughout the franchise. I've only really ever felt that with this one. Like, of course, they have their flaws, but, like, this was the first one where I was like, "This like, Scream has become Stab."
Right, right. It I don't know. I don't know when I'll watch it again, but it it jumbled my brain up, and once the killer gets taken out in the first act, and then once everything pops off in the bar, I'm like, this is going very fast, and I
Mhm,
don't know if I care. And sure enough,
yeah,
by the end, I'm like, oh, I don't care at all. Like this is bad. This is not good.
yep,
I don't know
and,
if can't wait for Scary Movie 6 to roast Scream. I don't know if they would have that in time.
They don't have time. No, it's already in the can. It'll be Scary Movie 7 if anything.
Mhm.
If 6 is good. I hope that's good. That would be worth it. If Scream 7 sucks, but Scary Movie 6 is like a return of like genuinely awesome spoof comedy, like 'cause I actually surprisingly liked Naked Gun last year.
Mhm.
I'll make that trade.
Well,
But we'll find out.
I
That's another situation where the Wayans are writing it, but Keenan's not directing it. It's like, oh,
yeah, the thing about movies and Hollywood and the decision makers is it's never fair. I like someone brought up earlier. It's a shame that Bone Temple Pilots didn't make money, but Scream 7 did.
mhm,
They make their decisions based on that shit, and this isn't the first time it's going to happen, and it won't be the last time. Um,
yeah.
it's why you tell people to support stuff they like because Hollywood only works with how it performed.
Mhm. That is the number that they care about more than
Uh-huh.
anything. That's why you'll have like and it's the worst when they get confusing messages. So you get a lot of people, more people than ever, saying this movie was not it when it comes to this franchise, but then they see the box office and they're like, "Oh shit. High five, guys." And then you have Bone Temple, which after the first one was so divisive last year, you have Bone Temple where everybody's like, "Fuck yes, this bring on 3, baby." And then the movie flops and they're like, "Well, what the fuck, guys?" And
They're like,
so
nope.
it's yeah, and now that's in question if they're gonna do the 3rd one, and it's just like, "Come on, man." Playing with my emotions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been a weird, weird, weird year. A weird 12 months, should I say?
Mhm.
I don't like you're getting Scream 8. There's no chance you're not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they. I mean, they could even because they had uh Billy in like flashback, whatever the fuck in 5. You could do that with Stu somehow, or you know, Sydney has dreams, or people keep making AI. Like, I guess that's the one benefit of that little stem off of the story is you can cast the original actors and have them do something that doesn't really make sense, but for the sake of I
Mhm.
was dreaming, or it's just a computer program. I guess that
Yeah.
works. So like, I mean, I don't think the diehards care. I don't think they care if it makes sense. If Scream 8 comes out and Stu was actually alive the whole time. John Doe actually was Stu, and anyway, here's here's no motive. Anyway, you're gonna get Stu versus Sydney.
Sydney and 9. Yep. That's what I mean. I wouldn't be surprised if that was their whole thing is to, like, save something to make the box office manipulation. Let's pull them in with nostalgia for the first one. The second one, if we don't nail it, is gonna suffer a little bit, but then the ending happens, and now everybody gets excited for this 3rd one, and we're gonna do the Halloween Ends thing, the
Yeah.
final confrontation between Stewie or from between Sydney and Stu.
No, it's a culmination of fandom, not a culmination of a story. It's just like if you think about it, Stu was what her boyfriend's friend who ended up trying to kill her in high school. She's
Mhm.
lived 2 times as long since then. Stu really shouldn't matter that much because again, she's had what 7 people try to kill her since. Doesn't
Yeah.
Stu's not that special anymore. So it's us, the viewers, that have this connection with Stu. So as far as the story's concerned, it's like, yeah, he's just one of many. I don't see why this is such a big deal, but
Mhm.
that's where that fandom shit comes in. Um, Funky butt loving, $5 super chat says, "How do they do a deep fake of Stu anyway? It was 1996. There was no footage of Stu to even warrant that. Don't you just
I
take a
mean,
picture and then
well, he's aged and he has scars, so it's not the picture of Matthew Lillard from 1996.
Oh
That's all
yeah,
they would have pictures up to. I mean, I'll take you one further. Why does the deep fake of Dewey look like, David Arquette now and not in any way that Dewey ever actually looked? Like, again, like, the medium, small nitpicks, maybe, but when the movie's filled with them, you start focusing a lot more on all of them, and all of them suddenly turns into a snowball.
holy shit." Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Mm-hmm. You know, Laura Metcalf. It's like, how did Billy's mother age like 30 years? You know what I mean?
Dude, like, yeah, it, there's a bunch of when the TVs were set up. Like, wouldn't you have time to do that? In a
Mhm.
different movie, like that. If that was one of the only complaints, then whatever. But man, they're in every fucking scene.
Yeah.
Do you have time to open it up to the chat for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you have, I know there were super chats earlier. Let me get to that, and if you have anything else to bring up, now is the time. But let me just catch up with the earlier things. I might not be able to highlight it on screen, but I will read it aloud all the same. Come on. I'm super sad that my favorite horror franchise finally has a bad movie. This is Gavin. Luckily, Resident Evil 9 has cured my sadness very quickly. Yeah.
You know the shame of it? If Scream 7 was fucking awesome, this would be a
Great
kick-ass
weekend.
weekend because you'd have a kick-ass Scream movie, a kick-ass Resident Evil game, and a kick-ass Rob Zombie record all in one fucking weekend.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
don't know if
let's
you've
just say Scream 7, like on the scales of like hype versus depression, like Scream 7 and RE9 could not be further apart on that scale.
yeah, I've only scratched the surface, but yeah, I've heard things. Hey, Cody, big fan. I think you will like it better on a second watch because I really didn't like it until I watched it twice. It was a 2 out of 10. Now it's a 7 out of 10. Hmm.
I have never in my life had swings that large. So I will bet testicles, even if I watched it a second time and liked it a little bit more, you might go from a 2.5 to a 2.5.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get it. Uh, Fandom is, there's things that you like that don't make sense, but um, it's cool that you like it. One Trey says one problem I had with the movie was the way Gale is introduced was a little too cartoony and seemed like something on one of the MCU movies. Yeah, I'll say.
Her and the twins literally showed up like they're in the fucking Mystery Machine. Like I said, they showed up like cartoon characters in my review because I felt the same way.
Dude, and why are like they joining her for the sake of filming a journalism shit? Like, I mean, that's really lucky that.
Again, it's placeholders for whoever we get, and we'll find a reason for that. Like I don't
Dude,
buy for a second they wrote this script knowing that Chad and Mindy were coming back.
Chad and Mindy in this movie, you take them out, there's nothing else. There's no problem if you take them. It's like I think I left them in this movie
Yeah.
as some sort of like, hey,
Even Gail. I mean, you have to find another reason why Sydney's not with her daughter in the second act, but that's it. Like that's probably a weekend rewrite to put her in there. Yeah, have something at the news station.
yeah. Um, Sydney says something about them burning down the Mocker house. They say we never went to the Mocker house. Both get shot from the shadows. Stu comes out. Says surprise, Sydney. Hard cut. Oh, okay. Oh, is that your proposed?
Like their fan rewrite of the ending.
Yeah.
I'll take that over what we got.
Yeah. Killers only had the basic chat GPT plan. Well, you can add scars and age them, I guess.
I think I want to talk about this too. Like the whole AI angle, I feel like if they are planning on eventually bringing Stu back, I feel like you've totally blown your wad with
Yep.
that now. Like you've taken all the potential coolness out of that moment because now you've faked it for an entire movie. You dangled the carrot the entire movie. Like now if he shows up, it's just like, oh, they finally did it. Okay, cool. Versus like average moviegoers are not knowledgeable at all that this has been a social media hashtag thing for over a decade where like Stu lives.
Yeah.
And that's like a fan
No,
theory. Like they
it's
teased it.
fan
They
film
teased it
shit.
very little bit in 6 where they're like, oh, some fans think that maybe he's alive, but that's a bunch of bullshit. Like they've referenced it. But
Dude, the one thing that
take this movie out and have a ghost face reveal where Matthew Lillard like surprised Sydney and everybody's like, what the fuck? How's he alive? Versus this, where it's just like, Oh, okay. Well, he was all over the last movie. I guess it makes sense.
It's funny, the one thing that they seem to concern themselves with as far as, common sense is concerned is the fact that Stu isn't alive, having 3 different killers. You could have had uh, us assume that it's Stu the entire time and have the reveal be at the end that it's AI. Like, you don't need to tell us that you know what AI is up front. You can have things that like pop up like, oh, it's Stu's tombstone or his grave has been emptied out. Like, listen, it's silly, but you're doing weird shit anyway as far as kind of misdirects and red herrings. You could just lean on Stu possibly being the killer, but you don't. Like, right away, you're like, it's AI. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't know why you would make that choice. Like, of all the things you do in this movie, that's the thing you're taking a stand with and saying, no, it's AI. Don't worry about it. Like, why are you worrying about that more than anything? It doesn't make sense. Logically, the movie just is not. It's not concerned with being logical.
Yeah.
Any in question format, please, in the chat. I didn't like the way that it called the audience stupid for wanting Stu to be alive. That was very condescending and insulting. I don't know did they call the audience stupid?
They said something along the lines of like, "Of course Stu's not alive. That'd be stupid," or like something like that. I don't know if it was directed to like give middle fingers to the crowd that wants it, but it was just like,
could be a wink.
Come on, guys! Like even that's a little bit much,
right? Thoughts on the opening scene?
We talked about it at the beginning. If
Yeah.
you want all of our thoughts, but like, I think I liked it more than CP did, but it was I thought it was a solid opening during the opening. In hindsight, it's very detached and doesn't have any relevance to the movie.
I'm with you. If you don't show me the rest of the movie, I'm like, ooh, that's unique. That's awesome. But then when I find out who the killer is and everything surrounding him, I'm like, no, fuck that. What is it? No. So I enjoyed it, but once everything got revealed, it was like, what?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because it's meant to be meta. It's indirectly insulting those that believe Stu was still alive, yes. But then why play into almost all of the fucking fan service shit throughout the movie?
That's what I mean. They can't pick a lane. Are we going to lean into appeasing the hashtag Stu Lives crowd, or are we roasting them? Are we praising Nev Campbell for skipping on 6, or are we roasting her for it? Are we saying that there's no Scream without Sydney, or are we trying to prop up Tate? Like, they can't pick a fucking lane on what they're trying to comment on. So it's just like, let's just say things.
And in the same movie, you can't be like, the jacket. Remember the jacket? No? What are you talking about? What jacket? Why is that such a big deal?
Yeah. Merciless Ghosties brought something up that I brought up in my review too. Like, the AI thing took away a lot of the classic Roger L. Jackson phone calls because they replaced 80% of them with these AI calls. So even like Ghostface's classic phone presence throughout the movie is pretty sparing.
Oh, right.
Usually he gets to get great lines where he gets to say twisted stuff. Like, I'm going to catch you like a fish. And it's just, now it's just Stu.
Yeah,
I'm coming for you, bitch.
There's no connection. Like, especially when you find out who the killers are, it's just like, why? Because they're wearing Stu's face and saying shit like that's concerning to her. Again, she's been chased by fucking maniacs 7 times now. So why is this time special? It doesn't make sense. Like, you would think at a certain point you get used to it. Like, oh, all right, who are you really? Brandon says, which final girl do you think has been overdone? Sidney Prescott or Laurie Strode? Whoa.
I mean, Laurie Strode, obviously, if we're comparing them, because Laurie Strode has been rebooted and redone like 3 times at this point, but Sydney's not far off now, and that's unfortunate. Because I don't think I'd ever, like with the way that they phased her out a little bit in 5, to me, it was like, that was perfect. She will always hold the crown as like one of the greatest final girls. Now they're going to bleed her dry.
Well, I mean, I know. Do you, if you're her, do you get cocky and have final something on the script? Like, listen.
Yes, she's already the one pitching the idea for 8. She's the one telling Kevin Williamson the idea for 8. Not to say that he has to go with it or like there's some contract thing, but that's the headlines I've been seeing is like Kevin Williamson comments on, Nev Campbell's idea for 8 or something like that. So yes, I guarantee after the shit with 6, I bet she's got contracts out the ass. I bet she's probably got executive producer credit. She probably got last look on the script or whatever. Like, I would not be surprised if she's positioned herself into a place where she has a decent amount of creative control now.
Well, she
'Cause
better.
now it's like, I've got my baby back. I'm not letting anybody take it away.
Well, she better do a better job of like, you know, approving scripts because, I mean, again, I don't know. Like, does money matter or does your craft matter? Because if like you don't give a shit and you're making $70 million, that I guess just you show up to the office and do whatever the fuck. But it's concerning not knowing like what is important to these people. But if I were her and I gave a shit about the legacy, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not. You're paying me way more than you have been, and we're not shooting until I say yeah that this script works. I don't know if
Yeah.
she'll do that though.
I don't think she will. I think after 6, I think it's, I don't want to be cynical because again, I like Nev Campbell a lot, but I definitely think that her motivation is more money, at least right now. Maybe that'll change after the reception of this one. I really don't know. But again, box office is going to be more, that might be bargaining chip for her. Be like, see, I come back and look what happens. I want more next time.
Yeah, yeah. Are you guys mad that the husband didn't die? I'm sick of the franchise having characters get stabbed dozens of times only to survive at the end.
I mean, it's not as egregious as the multiple deaths in 6, especially Chad, but like, I don't know. Like, I think her husband dying might do something interesting for the characters, especially if it's going to be her and her daughter going forward, where now they both have this shared trauma and now her daughter's got loss. But at the same time, is it cruel at this point to just like after 5 different attacks, now we're going to kill her husband too? Like, that's the thing with Sydney Prescott that's always hard. It's like, if we're going to hitch the wagon to her, it's like, do we give her any more pain? Or is it just now the Sydney kicks ass show? I mean, there's
like,
nobody that died in this movie that she gives a fuck about.
Oh, that's right. Dude, it's comically done. Again, at the fucking theater class, there's dead people at her feet when she hugs her daughter. Like, oh, thank God you're all right. What about these two? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just tonally broken.
Yeah.
Cody, will you do an updated Ghostface ranking? I am curious to hear your thoughts now.
Most likely. I was really trying to see whether or not the review and my ranking that I dropped today do well, because sometimes it really just depends. Like a movie like this could go either way. Either people really want to dive into it for maybe even toxic reasons because they want to just argue, but it sounds like it could be like a tier list video at this point. There's enough ghost faces where I could just like have tiers and just throw them in there. That's easier than ranking them. And some of these like Carl, like what the fuck do you even say about Carl? You know what I mean?
He likes coffee.
Yeah.
He travels across the country for a cup of coffee. Cody, can we get ranking Scream killer motives? Whew.
Whew. I don't think I'm going to be diving into that one. Maybe in the future. That feels like a video I'd make like for like a short, like a TikTok or something like that, just for fun. But I don't know. Then you're getting ultra nerdy at that point.
I mean, with all due respect to Scream fans, I think they'd eat it up.
Yeah. The Culkin kid is in number 8 because his motivation was he wanted to fuck Emma Roberts. Number 6, like moving on from.
Do you think they'll pull I know you did last summer, they did like they did with Ray in the next Scream?
No.
With who? Like, who would you do it with?
That's the
Gale?
thing is they don't have Gale. I wouldn't buy, and it's not set up at all. That would be ridiculous. They're never going to do it with Sydney. Sydney is locked in now. Sydney's never going to die. They're not gonna change her like that. They were trying to do that with Sam. They
Dude,
could have done it. But
if you
that's what I mean. Like, we're locked in now. Now it's money talks, bullshit walks. Do that again.
you want to be a badass, kill her daughter. If it's Sydney, kill her daughter.
Ugh. I don't
What?
think they have the balls.
These fucking new people don't matter anyway. So like,
Yeah.
do something that's like, oh, you're not fucking around. But
Yeah.
you don't have to fuck around, and they're making a ton of money without fucking around. So
Mhm.
I don't know, like,
Even that, like, I don't even know if you'd enjoy that. Like, that's what I mean, though. Like, if you keep going, it's like if it's by the time Sydney's in her 7th fucking showdown with Ghostface, if they open it up with them killing her daughter, like, do you
they're
even enjoy that as a slasher fan at that point, or is it just like, Jesus Christ, this is like cruel?
yeah, I would like it to matter. I like
Oh, I'm
whether
with
whether
you.
or not it's
I'm with you.
logical is one thing, but if it
Mhm. I'm
mattered, and
just
it's like, oh
playing out
wow,
the events. It's like, what direction can we go, guys? Is it if we go this way, you're gonna upset people. If you go this way, you're gonna upset people. If we just do the same old shit, you're gonna upset people. Like, this is what you signed up for now.
I think if you fucking Saw X had no business being as good as it was. If you can
Mhm.
somehow do something like make it a prequel or like whatever, like fucking go back in time, like I don't know, as long as the movie like tracks and is good, the logic doesn't really fucking matter, or at least I feel that way. I don't know. Killing return characters is kind of wasteful. So you just make new people that we don't fall in love with just to fucking not give a shit when they die? So what, Sydney have more daughters? What another dead character? But what do you like? So then no more slashers then? Like people need to die in these movies for it to be a slasher movie. And if we're gonna have Sydney save the day, there's got to be. Listen, I realize there's tons of shortcuts in Seven, but there needs to be some sort of connection, some sort of motivation for Sydney to be like, hey, you stop that. There needs to be people that die.
I'm not saying anybody in the chat is this way, but it really frustrates me how you have some fans that have very, very low requirements to enjoy movies. Like, as long as Ghostface is there, Sydney's there, and the kills are cool, I'm good. I'll at least enjoy it. But but they're not self-aware in that. They act like you're ridiculous if you want anything more. Like, you ask me, like, what's the next Jason Statham movie where he's fucking, I don't know, he's a contractor, he's a fucking dentist, and he's gonna kick everybody's ass. Like, I will tell you, like, as long as he's got some good one-liners and the fighting is good, I'll at least walk out doing this.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't need much more. I hope for much more, but I'll walk out going, that was decent. You know, the fighting was cool. He broke some necks and shit like that. But I am at least I can preface everything with that. But you get into these slashers and these horror franchises where it's just like Jason was there. What the fuck else do you want?
Yeah. No. No.
Things. That's what I want.
Yeah. I watched that fucking beer commercial last summer. Fuck that shit. Um.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like the fucking not quite taken movies with what's his face? What the fuck's his name? Not Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson. Leslie Nielsen. Liam Neeson. Fucking Naked Gun broke me.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of those movies that were like not quite taken, but like it was just the same old shit. At a certain point, it's like, yeah, all right, it's taken, but he's a truck driver.
Mhm.
Please stop. I'm
Yeah.
a fan and all, but this is getting nuts.
Mhm.
Troy says I'm completely out of ideas. What you
What
got,
do you got,
Nev?
Nev?
Great words from a creator.
Yeah, and like I said, I if I was to bet money, I would assume that for the foreseeable future, Nev Campbell, Kevin Williamson will be in creative control of this franchise. He will continue directing, hopefully writing, and she'll be the lead. And however, until the money runs out, that's what we're going to get. One every year, one every 2 years. That's what we've signed up for now.
Make her ghost face. Fuck it. We need a shocking twist at other than paint by numbers Scream movie. She doesn't die just because she doesn't die. She just becomes Jason, but Ghostface. Kidding. I mean, don't watch the new. I know what you did last summer. Woof. Yeah, I like I don't know what's what's I mean, if there's a punchline to slasher movies is they can make 50 of them, but they become a bit redundant at a
Yeah,
certain
you can
point.
make 50 of them, but 38 of them suck.
Yeah. Uh, Seed of Ghostface.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Don
jeez.
Mancini, Chucky, anyone. That's what I mean though. Like that's what I feel like at this point it's going to be for Kevin Williamson and maybe Nev Campbell. And like I'm not they're not a one for one, but like once you have like what else is Kevin Williamson doing if he has the bargaining chip of like, look, I came back, now I'm the creator, and you just had the biggest box office opening, maybe box office total run of this entire franchise in 30 years.
This is
West didn't even
depressing.
make this much money. What is the studio gonna do? Say, "Nuh-uh?" Like, you know, and I'd love to be able to say, like, "Oh, Kevin Williamson has creative control." That should be a good thing.
Hmm.
Previous to this movie, that would have been a optimistic thing. But if this is what he gives us, it was like the worst thing that could have happened.
Would you would you guys be interested in a Scream movie told from a ghost face perspective to do something fresh at least? Sounds interesting.
If there's a way to do that, that's kind of what 6 was like. I felt like was teasing us with at the beginning. It was like they're gonna let you know who Ghostface is right in the opening, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so like, is he gonna be like mingling with our characters the whole movie, and we're gonna know it's him and somebody like that could be interesting." They got to change the status quo somehow. They got to break the formula somehow.
Yeah, if you change the perspective, I mean, the reveal at the end could be Sydney is coming to save the day. Like Sydney is the villain for the sake of the story, but is the hero. Like you can still have Sydney in that movie too. You can have somebody like copycat killing as Ghostface and have them be the center of the story. And you could still have Sydney in that movie, but she's the reveal at the end. I don't know if if Nev Campbell is okay with being on screen for less than 20 minutes or what, but
She gets the same paycheck. I'm sure she is.
50 million,
Yep.
15 million per minute I'm on screen.
Yep. Robert Downey Jr. That shit.
Yeah,
You want me for how long? Pay me.
I can ignore the failures. That's my solace. What's yours? Huh. I don't have solace. I
I'll try to say this diplomatically. Cody's favorite Halloween alternate timeline is 1-2-H2O. If Scream is on a downhill trajectory, I still have my 1-2-3. I don't get what the Halloween comparison is, but okay.
Cody's favorite Halloween.
If they continue to suck, at least I have the originals. Like that's not an optimistic thing to me.
Well, like that's something that people always like that's the thing when people talk about, oh, this movie sucked. Well, it doesn't change the fact that the other one exists. Like
Mhm.
if new stuff sucks, it you still have the ones that you love. But I don't I, like I'll say it. I feel like people really are dependent and really put a lot of worth into people like yourself, Cody, liking the thing that they like. And they want,
Oh,
you
I
know,
agree.
and I think, people who really enjoy this, they want to watch some of their favorite content creators say the things that they're feeling and feel, I don't want to say betrayed, but like let down when it's like, ah, man, I thought we were cool. I thought you liked things I liked. And it's
And some
something,
of that's natural. I mean, I
sure.
get the disappointment. Like I had one not too long ago where I recommended my parents to go check out Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And they went and saw it and they both hated it. And I was like, oh, like it was like I saw 151 movies last year. That was in my top 5. And so like that was like, well, fuck, that sucks. But like that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. There's a
But
reason
yeah,
why.
I get it. You know, you sometimes you put stock into it. It's almost like you feel affirmed. You feel like, okay, well, like, the good guys won this time around. But then if you have, like imagine this conversation, like if you were like, hey, you want to do Scream 7? I was like, fuck yeah, it was awesome. And you're like, what?
All right.
Okay.
Buckle
I
in.
mean,
We're gonna have a night.
it'd be an interesting conversation, but
Right.
like you always like there's a little bit of like I thought I knew you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Like if you like Rudy's that guy for me, where I'm like, I never know what the fuck Rudy's gonna think. But with you, like I knew, I'm like, okay, if he felt the way he did about 6, like buckle up, you know.
Dude. Yeah,
Mm.
like that. There's this game I've been playing, Arc Raiders. I'm purposefully not suggesting it to you because I'm not sure how you would feel about it. Because
Mhm.
it's kind of got Call of Duty vibes, but it's kind of got other
I've
things. And
seen some videos of it. I've been intrigued, but I was like, I'm Resident Evil's taking my
yeah,
headspace right now.
I'm not wasting a recommend on it just yet. But if you come around to it, let me know because
Now I'm just gonna be an ass about it. Be like, motherfucker,
you
this
like
game
that shit.
sucks. $60, bitch.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Trey says bringing Jill back is more interesting than Stu. Jill.
Emma Roberts from 4.
She
Her
died. Oh,
niece.
she never died, did she? Wait, what?
No, she did. They fried her brain with the fucking clear.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, I lose track with
Bringing
all
back
the.
any of the Ghostface killers is stupid. Like Stu, the only reason people have said that is because they're like, well, technically they didn't like show him getting wheeled out and fucking buried, and it's like, okay. Again, 3. It all stems from 3 because that was originally the plan for 3 was that he was always alive and he was doing this cult of Stu thing and it was going to be the ultimate mastermind. But then Columbine happened, and so they had to scrap the script because it was too similar to the perpetrators of Columbine. And then that's what Scream 3 turned into the craziness that it was, and the Weinsteins taking it away from Kevin Williamson and everything else. So that's been known for a while, and the internet has ran with it ever since. Where they're like, "Go back to that. That'd be awesome."
I'll try, Brandon. Brandon says another train moment with Arc Raiders. I'm
Yeah.
I'm the same. You're going to be the guy who shoots people, and I'm going to be running away and fucking falling into a folding door or some shit. But
I'll never forget, like, when he first convinced me to play Call of Duty with him, just the difference in play style where he's, like, trying to avoid
I
the
found
battle
all this loot.
sections. Yeah, he's looting and, like, trying to avoid the battle section, and I'm on top of the fucking car like Rambo. I'm like, "All right, bitch, where we
Two machine
going?"
guns. Just
Yeah, exactly. America!
like Cody, help! I tripped. I hurt my knee really bad.
Yeah. Ah. Ah.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm out there fucking commando.
Yep. I am no different. Within the world of Wes Craven, a TV to the head equals dead. Jennifer in Dream Warriors, and she wasn't bleeding out. I didn't have it dropped on her head.
Yeah.
That was a dream, though, wasn't it? Though.
Mhm.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yep.
Okay. I won't lie. I was pissed on the rewrite of Scream 3 at first. What was the rewrite on 3? 3?
3 was the one I just told you about, where
Right.
it was supposed to be Stu, and then Columbine happened, so they were like, "We gotta change this."
I keep mixing up 3 and 4. Desi, this one could have been saved a bit by a better reveal. Because until the soulless who gives a fuck reveal, I was enjoying myself. Really, that far in.
I wasn't hating it until the reveal. I was like, "Oh, the second act is a steep decline from the first act, but they can save it. They can bring it around." So I'm with you on that. And then as soon as the masks came off, I was like, "Oh, motherfuck,
Dude,
Jesus."
I don't know if I was tapped out by the second act, but I was like, they're going very fast. I don't care about any of this, and it's just moving very fast. I don't know if there's a way you can get me back in it in the third act. I think maybe if it was Stu, I'd be like, well, what the fuck's going on? That might have like shocked me into I don't know, like respect. Just all right, you got balls by bringing a guy back that's dead. Certainly would have had more of an effect than what they gave us. But I was very concerned once they were in the bar, and that felt like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Can Cody explain the lore behind Scream 3 and Columbine? I'm confused.
Just you have to look it up, but
Yeah.
Columbine was a
May of '99. There was the first major school shooting in America, and they didn't want teenage kids recreating things like that. And Scream 3, when it came out, they were checking before Columbine. If a 16-year-old went to see a Scream movie, because Scream 1 was rated R, theaters weren't as strict. But once the perpetrators of Columbine were, a bit, a bit heavy with the fandom, they thought that there were some connections there, and they were inspired by things like Scream. So they wanted to avoid having art impersonate reality, and it was a little close. It's hard to explain that period of time without you being in it.
Yeah, you don't see it too much anymore, but there used to be like unfortunate timings where movies would feel too much like what's going on in the real world and it would affect them. Like you had
The Boys last year had
yeah.
an assassination plot, and they needed to delay that, avoid that, because there was an assassination plot or an attempt at that time. So that's the most recent time, something like that. I don't know. Were you bringing up something different?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Collateral Damage was supposed to come out like right
9/11?
around when 9/11 happened, and they were like, punt that shit 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's been a while since something like that has happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. All right, so now we're getting all the lore. I didn't care about the I didn't care about the characters in 6, but I had a better time with the reveal, even if it was obvious. This was the only reveal where the masks came off. I felt nada. We spent time with the other girlfriends? Ghost faces. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird form of fail where like it felt completely random and completely obvious all at the same time. Where it's like, I knew it was them. Also, who are you? You know what I mean?
So here's my nerddom coming through. When they gave the trivia question about Friday the 13th and when Jason drowned, I was like, interesting to bring that up. And when the mother was the mother of the true crime kid, I knew they were. I didn't know. I was very.
That tipped you off.
Yeah, I was very suspicious. Like, why would they bring up Friday the 13th twice? That's me being a super Friday the 13th fan. That made me suspicious of her.
For me, it was like I thought she was off just enough to not be an obvious red herring, which is like kind of like I got my one eye on you, woman. And then when she showed up the second time, just to be the same way, I'm like, this feels like this character has no other purpose in this movie other than to just make sure she's on screen at some point.
Yep.
And so that was where I was like, okay, I don't know. And then after her son was dead and we never actually like nobody ever there was no reason for her to show up or react to it. I was like, okay, I don't know. That we're waiting. We're waiting.
If Scream ever did a crossover franchise like Jason vs. Freddy, what would be the best franchise to do it with?
I know what you did last summer.
I guess.
I mean, they have to be in the real world. They can't be like fiction. You know what I mean? Because Scream references all the fiction.
Do Urban Legend. I know there are not very many fans for that movie, but fuck it.
Either of those 90s, like Kevin Williamson era movies.
Yeah, the Scream inspired era. Yeah. That's a rough one.
Which Ghostface reveal was the most obvious? I guess for me, it was Richie in 5 because it was literally his first scene and it's in the first like 8 minutes of the movie. I guess you have the scene where, the opening with Jenna Ortega and then it cuts to Melissa Barrera and him like outside of their work or whatever. And like within a couple lines of dialogue, they reference Stab and he says something to the effect of like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Like as soon as he said that, that was like, and so that was one where like from the beginning, I didn't know it was Mikey Madison for the second one, but sometimes the second Ghostface is kind of arbitrary. It's like they're the side character, like, nobody remembers the Culkin kid from 4. They just remember Emma Roberts.
I forgot she died. How about that? I don't remember either.
There you go. So I would say that one. 4 surprised me. I was too young to call the killers in the first 3. I remember me and my dad thinking that there was 2 killers. We kind of called that, but not who the killers were in the first one. 5, 6, and 7 are the only ones. Maybe it's just because I'm older that I pegged all 3 of them to some extent.
Yeah.
He had 6. I just never forget that scene with fucking Dermot Mulroney where I forget what he was doing, but he's like, "Yeah, they're sending a message. Mess with my family, you die." He says it like that, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, okay, Ghostface.
Go order
See
a
you in
coffee.
15 minutes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Cody, what do you uh so score the movie and what do you
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5? What do you think is coming up? What do you want to come up moving forward? Because they're making another one.
I just hope that for the rarity of the times that this happens, I hope that they celebrate the financial win, but actually don't dismiss the criticisms. They don't look at the Rotten Tomatoes score being the lowest of the franchise and just get cocky and be like, money talks, bitch, fuck off. I hope that doesn't happen because there's legitimate issues. And it's not like the franchise is dead. I'm not optimistic because of this for many different reasons. Narratively, I have no idea where to go. That's the problem. It's like I know if it's just bring Sydney and Gail back again, I don't know where to go with that. And I would have said that after 4. Like, where do you go after 4? I don't fucking know. And then 5, they brought in a new cast. Okay, cool. I'm on board. They're not going to do that again. So if we're taking that off the table, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think there's enough that's happened in the modern world where you can I don't know if people would appreciate it, but does it have to be a slasher? If you have some sort of, I don't know, like a stalker element, some sort of, fucking social media something. I don't know. It feels like it could use, not a complete overhaul, but maybe a slight pivot that feels a bit more modern.
Yeah.
I gave 7 a 1.5 out of 5. It is currently my least favorite 2026 release. Not saying much. It's only March
You've
now.
skipped a few in February
Yep.
then. You have
Yep.
not frequented the theater in February.
Yep. That is also accurate.
February has been a rough month.
Yeah, it's weird because January was kind of okay.
Yeah, January was like surprisingly good. Still had a couple stinkers, but Friday, February has been rough.
Was Primate a 2025 release in the US? Because Primate was solid.
No, it was January, but
January.
it was at film festivals in 2025. So I saw it at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah.
But this month you had Twisted, the new Darren Lynn Bousman film. You had
Twisted's not good. Sorry. I did see that.
yeah. I wasn't a very big fan either. I interviewed both of them too. So
Yeah.
it was something where I was like, okay, for the first time I've seen a movie that I didn't like that I'm gonna have to follow up. And I think I did a good job. I still got a lot of interesting conversation. It was a lot of fun. Like there was ideas there that were really interesting to discuss
Mhm.
that I pulled out of the movie, but I wasn't a big fan. You had Strangers Chapter 3.
Oh,
You had Wuthering Heights. You had Psycho Killer, which I didn't see, but everybody said it was abysmal. Yeah, this is a month where like I don't really have like I mean, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which is a movie I saw last year. Is going to be like this is the good one. Go see this one, and then all the other ones. Mortuary Assistant. That was Jesus Christ. You see that one?
no.
Video game movie. Oh my god, that one was rough. That's my least favorite of the year so far.
I saw Exit 8. That's a Japanese movie. I don't think that comes out until April. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that, where like you're leaving this one train exit, but you have to notice things. It's interesting. I don't know if it's something that I would say is good or what. It's odd. It's just unique.
Mm-hmm.
But it's based on a game, I guess.
Yeah.
Scream 7 or Psycho Killer? Psycho Killer.
I didn't see Psycho Killer. That was a movie that came out last week.
Gavin says, Send Help is my personal favorite. That's one I wanted to get around to. So
You'd
much
love
fun.
it. You'd love it.
Okay.
You're a Sam Raimi fan, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send Help is the best best new release that I've seen this year so far.
Well, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. What do you got coming up, Cody?
I just dropped my ranking of the Scream films a few hours ago. I guess I'll follow it up with a Ghostface Killer tier list at some point. Then a whole bunch of shit to the gaming channel, which I'm trying to put more focus on this year. But I've been streaming Resident Evil games like a madman. I just got done streaming my first playthrough of 9, so I'll eventually have a review of 9. I'll rank all the games. I'll do a bunch of different rankings. I'll probably rank like the settings of the games, protagonists, the monsters, and like some tier list stuff. I'm gonna whore out on Resident Evil for as long as my interest is there. But then I go to South by Southwest at some point next week, so that might stifle my momentum on Resident Evil, depending on how much I can get done this week.
Nice. A genuine question. If you're watching this in the future, click, interact with the video, click like, subscribe, all that stuff. But genuinely, if you enjoyed 7 without any sort of shade whatsoever, please let me know why. I'm curious to know, like, what about the movie you enjoyed, and if you were disappointed, let me know too. Like, I'm like just trying to understand fandom, and what your expectations are. Again, you could do it anonymously if you'd like, but I'm just curious because I don't know, call it a homework project or something. But thank you to those of you for being in the chat and the super chats and all that stuff. I too will be getting around to Resident Evil. I just don't know how soon and in what format.
No.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you, all of you. Until next time, I've been Charles. Say good.